Good evening. Welcome back, everyone. Got a lot of people here tonight. Evening, Corey, the Eric, or Eric the, as it were, Garth, Ted, Nico, TomTom Computing, Doppler Effect. Uh, that's the problem. Well, we'll get into that here in a second, but evening, everyone. Welcome back. And welcome for those that haven't joined before. It's always exciting to see new people. Zoe, our cat here, if you guys haven't watched the streams before, is here, and she is ready. Right. She's more of a PC kitty than no. We're not gonna draw lines in the sand here, but it is a Mac evening, because why not? Why not? Hope everyone's doing all right this evening, or wherever you are in the world. I know a lot of people join us from all over the globe, which I think is always really cool and fun. As some of you may have seen that I did the video on the stack of Macs I got recently, which included this very nice Quadra 610. And for your question up there on the B and A, so here's where it becomes pretty funny, is that I am very blind when it comes to a lot of the Macs from this era. I had just peripheral access to them, or like awareness, but I did not own one. I did not have any nostalgia for it or anything like that. So the thing that's happened a lot with, I think that at least from the US, nostalgia for Macs come a lot from the fact that it was in the school system so heavily. In Sweden, where I grew up, there was nothing. There was not a single Mac in my school as far as I know. Maybe some for a teacher or something, but let's see, I'm getting a buffering thing. Hopefully it's just my screen. Hopefully I'm still streaming okay. I guess let me know if I'm not. If you can't see or hear me. In Sweden, IBM, basically, even Christopher, in Sweden, it was like IBM and some random big box machines. So in junior high for me, it was all IBM's PCs, like PS whatever it was at the time. Like we're talking, mid 90s, right? And then in high school, it was just, I don't know, manufacturer. I don't even remember what they had in the school, but nothing like that stood out. It was just whatever random generic stuff. So Apple was not in the school system really at all in Sweden anyway, at least where I was. And I know that they made a big deal. I mean, again, people that are familiar with this can, of course, correct me, but I think the Apple II was the big one that became a big push. And that's why everyone here seems to remember like playing Oregon Trail and a lot of the Mac classics when they were in school because it was so popular here. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to, Garth. That's what I wanted. Something like that. It's just a Sharpie to identify it, right? I don't know where that came from. It came from a university lab here, is where all the machines came from, the one that I picked up in that stash. So I don't know what they use. Some of them have just labelings and markings on them for who knows what reason, right? Could have been for storage purposes or just that they had two of them, whatever. So, yeah, it's... And the thing is, like, what happened here then is that plan worked exactly, was that, as I understand it, then a lot of people, when they're buying a home computer for home use, the multi-home computer for everyone to use, they had an Apple at school, so they bought an Apple for home, and that's exactly Apple's plan, right? That's worked out. I think it was somewhere with, you had a lot of the microcomputers, right, in the 80s in the UK and stuff like that, right? Where you had a situation with the BBC Micro and stuff like that that got into the school system, and that made it the de facto computer, right, for a long time. Yeah. So I don't know that lasted, right, for the Macs to be still around. I mean, right now, my kids, they get like Chromebooks when they work on school stuff, right? And that's pretty much it, because that's all they need. They just access the online learning system. So, evening, Sean, welcome. So that's the thing is, like, again, I have very little experience with the Macs here. So to give the full Mac experience of what I have is that when I was a kid, my cousins, so my aunt and uncle, had a Mac SE, I think, and we played quite a bit on that one. So there's some of the games that I have nostalgia for on the Mac are from that era. That's what I had a lot of exposure from Mac from that side. Because I had like eventually on a 46 in that era, but then the Mac SE, every time I was visiting them for the summer, we would play games on there. A few of the ones that I have actually loaded up here. We'll check that out, which is a fun Swedish unique game, which is very, very unique. It is not about a Tandy Quadro, sorry. The amount of time it took for me to get, what you're looking up here, is a live capture, we'll get to it, of the actual Quadra. And the trials and tribulations I got to get this Mac working for this purpose, or the stream here, to get data onto it, is partly due to my inexperience. Evening, Alex. And it just, it took a while to get to where we're now. So yes, Tandy, of course, I will stream a Tandy at some point during the month. Of course, it's Septandy right now. We'll see if I get to make it a full video or not. I'm going out to VCF Midwest next week, of course. That's going to be really fun, and everyone's going to do a sticker exchange and everything, so everyone that's going to go is going to be really fun to see whenever we can. Which software will be that? But we have a few select games loaded on here. So to give you the idea on what I had to do to get software on here. Again, some of this is my inexperience, and I don't have another Mac, a networked Mac, that I can use with a floppy drive on, because I network everything. This machine has it has a NIC in it, but I don't have the dongle adapter, right, that you need for this era of Macs, the AA Apple Direct Connect or whatever they call it, the Apple proprietary one, the one. And I don't have that, so I couldn't network this machine. So my next option then is there's no CD-ROM drive on this. I can't burn a CD. There's only a floppy drive on it. And I don't have a way to write Mac floppies. And that's what I realized, is like I have a G4, but it's got a zip drive internally. So I can't write Mac floppies. I have to plug it in my external USB floppy drive. The problem is that I think you need a powered one for the G4. This is USB 1, right? And I think you need the powered one to make that work. So then I couldn't do that. So I think, well, hang on, I have a plus. Which is what I ended up using. I have this, which is the Zip Drive Plus, which is basically parallel and SCSI auto detect. Perfect, right? So that's great. The problem is this is not natively detected on the Quadra in OS 7. So I couldn't mount it. I couldn't read it. I had to get the drivers for it. But I couldn't get the drivers because I couldn't get the floppy disk written. So I found that there's a software called Mount Everything for Mac that lets you basically read the SCSI bus and find drives and mount it from there. Great. How did I get it on the floppy? Because I only had the floppy drive. So I messed around and Googled this for a long time and thought of what I should do, because I couldn't write. So the modern Mac we have, which is my wife's old machine, it's barely working as an old laptop, it wouldn't boot. All right, so that was out of the question. And then my modern machine, of course, I can't write floppies there, but I found something called OmniFlop, which is not a offshoot of Omni Consumer Products, believe it or not. OmniFlop is a custom driver for Windows systems that lets you use an internal floppy drive and then write a number of formats. Pretty much any format you can imagine that is supported by the 144 double density floppy drive, right? You can't write some really old format if the drive can't physically write it. Yes, I will get Blue SCSI at some point, because we'll get to that on this machine here. There's a lot of backstory here now. We'll get to the Mac itself, but I got to get this off my chest, how I managed to make this work. So what I did is I took a Windows XP machine that I have, like a Pentium 4 2.26 gigahertz or whatever, it doesn't matter. I installed the OmniFlop driver on there, and then I put a floppy drive and floppy disk in there, and yes, I can write now Mac floppies from there. Great. I can only write Mac image files. I can't write and open and drop files onto it. So I have my Mount Everything floppy files that I got from a Macintosh repository. I can't drop it on there. So I'm like, what the hell? I'm just running out of options at this point. So I realized that, hang on, I can create an image file on the G4. So I boot up the G4, and I take the Mount Everything files from my NAS that I copied from my modern computer, and I create the image file, and I get that over to the XP machine, and I write the image file to a Mac floppy. And if you saw me on Twitter when I did the reaction there, that's what made it work. I was able to then mount the flipping floppy drive from there. I can actually open the floppy drive. It had the Mount Everything software, copy that to the machine, and now I could detect my zip drive. And you think at this point, I'm all good, right? Well, the problem is I don't have a Mac formatted zip disk. And you need the zip tools to do that. And the zip tools are like 4 meg or more. So I couldn't get it to this machine without doing some compressing and stuff like that. And for some reason, Mac people let me know this here. Why can't you initialize or format a IBM formatted zip disk with the internal drive? Like, it has to be blank for it to be formatted. You can't initialize a format, at least in OS 9, that I could find without the software. And because the zip drive is internal, you can't install the zip tools. It won't detect it. It only works for USB. And I tried with the USB drive and the G4 wouldn't detect it. So I'm like, what is going on? So eventually I actually plugged in my zip drive, my USB zip drive, to my modern machine, went into device manager, found disk management, deleted the volume, which purged that zip disk, dropped it into the G4. The G4 say, hey, do you want to initialize this disk? It's empty. Initialized it. It is now Mac readable. I could copy my files over, and here we are. That took a lot of effort, so we were actually up and running now. However, this machine took a couple of tries to boot, and the hard drive is not sounding happy when it spins down and spins up. It grinds. So I'm hoping this machine survives tonight, and then at that point, it's going to have to be blue SCSI. There's no way this thing's going to survive long term. So there, that got us to this point now. This is the original hard drive, and this is a 160 megabyte SCSI hard drive, and it sounds like you know, one of those like combine harvesters, like running over metal at this point when it boots up. So we're good right now. If this dies, I have a backup plan. We'll see. So far, so good. I played on this machine for hours last night, and it worked fine. It's just when I booted it for the stream here earlier, it's stuck on the boot up screen, and I rebooted it, and it's stuck on the boot up screen. On the third try, it worked. So right now, we're sitting okay here now. We're not going to try and mess with it too much. Part of this is my inexperience with the Mac platform. I think it's really cool because there's a lot of cool games on here, and also there's a lot of, it's fascinating to me to see other games that came out on other platforms, which we'll visit that too. There's some games on here that were definitely ports. Evening Pixel, welcome. A good thing you got your prize ready there, and Evening Remastered. So I'm not negative towards any given platform. I think they're all fun to explore, especially ones that I don't have a lot of experience with. But it does make it more challenging to overcome the problems. Now, this machine, I'll probably cover it in a full video at some point. It needs a full teardown, right? If it's a full teardown, probably needs blue SCSI. It needs to be memory upgraded max. You know, it might, I don't think it has all the slots even populated yet. It is TLC. Clean off that, you know, I was going to say, clean off the Sharpie on it, things like that, you know. And that hard drive is just on the way out. And I think that's the common problem with these Macs from this era, is that those SCSI hard drives just aren't going to last. Not saying that other hard drives, IDE, lasted longer, but, you know, hard drives are the ones that go out first usually. And it's a loud hard drive, and it will probably break eventually. So I loaded up some games on here. If the games that we have on here, if they do work, the ones I tested. We have a small selection of games, and unfortunately, I can't have all the games on here, right? If I had blue SCSI, I could have hundreds of games with larger hard drive. I ran out of space. I had to stop at some point. So I installed a select few games that seem to be very popular on the Mac platform, and other ones that I recognize myself. So, Evening Revenant, I do appreciate it. Thanks for watching the ads while you're hungry now for Burger King. So, I can't possibly get everyone's favorite games on here, obviously. And also, this capture you're looking at right now is the raw capture from here using just a DB15 to VGA adapter. That's it. And then I capture it through VGA through my data path. And now, the one thing you might notice is at the top here, you'll see there's a black bar and the bottom is black bar. That has to do with the capture. For some reason, there's a bug with 480p with this particular card, and it causes the image to be a little shifted. Now, when I start playing, you will notice it. But if you notice that, hey, why is the bottom missing like 30 pixels or something like that, 30 rows? That's why. It's a bug in the capture software. And I didn't have time to mess with it more. So, so there we go. Yeah. There's a lot of really cool stuff on the Mac, honestly. And if you go through Macintosh Repository, which is an excellent website. Evening, Scott. Welcome. Scott here, for those not aware, is the person I picked up these computers from, and I really appreciate the opportunity to mess with them. It's been really fun for me to dig into the platform in general. And then this course now, what I mentioned earlier, Scott, is that this machine, of course, is alive right now and it's working, but the hard drive is going out, and that's to be expected. It is really fun to mess with these, and I really enjoy them, and I will definitely use all of them, as you saw in the other video as well. I do owe you an answer on Twitter. I know you pinged me earlier today, so I do owe you an answer now. I'll get that to you as well. But it's a really fun era for me because I was so into PC at the time, and the 486, the Pentium era, and all that stuff. And there's a lot of cool Mac games from this era, both ports and real ones. Some games probably arguably might be better on Mac. I mean, some games run at a high resolution because, I mean, there's no low resolution DOS mode on this thing. It's 640 by 480, and that's it. So, which of course, with more powerful video card, you can increase. But so as far as like what this actual Mac is, and again, you will see me being completely like, where did I go to do this in Mac? I don't know where to make changes or whatever it might be. It's hard for me to find stuff. Just shout out if I'm missing something. I don't think we're going to like dig through this machine because there's not much on this at the moment, right? But again, this is a Quadra 610 then. As far as I can tell, it's pretty bog standard. I believe the memory has been upgraded because it looks like it's got 36 or 38 meg of memory in here, which I think is shipped with less than that. That is the only upgrade that's been done, it looks like. There's 2 memory modules in there with 2 slots unpopulated, best I could tell. Again, we have the original hard drive, the 160 megabyte SCSI hard drive, which is making a lovely spinning noise right now. We have a 68040. See the specs coming around. Well, I can actually do this here. Put the specs back up again. There we go. So the specs that you see right below here then is 25 megahertz 68040, which is, I believe, correct me here, and I think that's one of the fastest like 68K processors, right? Because after this, they went to PowerPC, which is the RISC-based architecture and completely different system. And then it went to basically emulating 68K, I think. I mean, again, I'm not a Mac expert, so that's what I've read up on, is that when they get to PowerPC, you're basically emulating 68K instruction sets, and you're not running it natively, if that makes sense, which have some compatibility problems, I'm sure. But that's the thing they had to do to leave behind the Motorola and the 68K platform, which they, of course, had used for a long time. So, good tip there right away. So, and that's the thing. It's like I really enjoy. Oh, welcome Toby Live RS. There will definitely be some snood action because I mean we have to have it. They have to have it. So, I didn't play that, but my wife played that a lot in her school. So that's something that she's very nostalgic for. And that's the thing with these settings. Like, let's take a look then. There's a memory setting here because I saw that and I wasn't sure what to set this at. I didn't have time to look at it. So we do need to enable the 32-bit addressing. That sound right? And then reboot, I'm guessing. Will be on after restart. So we'll do that. And it's weird. So I'm sure people kind of get the same vibe. It's like, as soon as you go into a new type of environment you hadn't messed around with, right? Then I think my hard drive is pretty full is the problem. The disk cache, how much should I increase that to? What would you say? 512? Okay, we'll go with that. So it will take a while to reboot, yeah, but it's actually not too bad. Around disk space now, but it is just like, as soon as you maneuver around a new environment that you haven't messed with before, it takes a while getting used to it because it's just like, hang on, what do you have to go here and there? Where do you go for this? And it's really challenging to keep up with everything. So right now we're going to reboot and hopefully the machine comes back up. If it crashes now, we'll blame everyone else. So they will catch up here in a second with the horrible scaling here going on. There we go. Welcome to Macintosh. Yeah, that's what's going to happen here. Is that hopefully it boots now. I actually unplugged the zip drive because it looked like that was causing problems to boot up here now. I have to make sure that the audio is capturing too, but it gets stuck here for quite a while. So, okay, yep, I certainly can. I was going to wipe this machine, but I definitely will. And that's the thing that's going to happen is this machine, I was going to wipe it and then didn't really have time. And I think what it comes down to is that, like, there's nothing here I need on. I like the experience of reinstalling from scratch as well. But in the interest of getting just this running, as I realized I released a video and I wanted them to just kind of get going, then yeah, I will definitely wipe this out. No dinner for you. Anymore, we'll delete it, but yeah, it's not going to keep the data. I haven't dug through it or anything. Empty trash. So let's see how much. 5.8 megabytes of disk space recovered. There we go. Now we have more space right away. So let's take a look at, what does it say on memory now? Oop, not here. Let's see at the available RAM, because I could not run PowerPete before. Look at that. PowerPete I did not have. That's a huge bump. Wow. That's went from 4 megabytes of available space to 32. Holy buckets. That is a huge boost there, huh? Thanks for that setting. See, again, that's why I know nothing about the Mac. I just booted it and started using it, and here we are. That's why I bring in the experts to tell me what to do. Well, that will do it. So I was trying to run a very popular game called PowerPete, and I could not run it because there was not enough continuous memory available. So anyway, for now, let's play some games, right? There are a few applications on here, but nothing really super interesting. It was a machine that was used mostly for business or university use, right? So there are not going to be any games on here. And hopefully the memory, or not the memory, but the sound works. Yeah, I would say that much memory would have been just insane. Here are all the games I copied over anyway. So this is what's on the docket for tonight, and then we can copy more if we have to. But it's kind of like iffy to do that right now because I have to go to the G4 and copy files. Anyway, I have some other games on the standby if we run out of games or these don't work. There's a few here. It's funny because... Right. I did not play many games from the Mac around this era. My brother had a Mac, and it probably was an LC or something. I don't remember. Something from this era. And he had a Tetris game on there that I could not figure out what it was later on. It had this really cool music. I found it like a year ago, and it's called Tetris Max, and it's just a straight up unofficial licensed Tetris clone, as you expect. It's not an official Tetris game at all. But it's got a music that is way too good for what it is. It doesn't have to be that good, but it's amazing. And we'll see if Bonkheads run now, because they will not run earlier. I don't know. I just grabbed a few games off Macintosh Repository, but we're going to start with Tetris Max, because the music in this is amazing. Excuse me. We'll see if it runs, and I'm going to see that the audio is actually capturing correctly now. Yeah, sure. We'll pay for it later. I gotta look at the settings again. I think I changed it, so... There was Marathon on there as well. Let me tune the audio here. This music has no right to be this good. I should probably play this game, huh? It's cool, we can recover. Probably can't recover, but yeah, this music is just amazing. It reminds me of Mod Tracker music from the Amiga, above all. Too bad I got a bad start here. I'm better at Tetris than it looks like, I promise. Or not. I'm really terrible at Tetris. Most of the Tetris experience I got was from the Game Boy. Now it really goes Amiga here. Sorry, everyone. With the lag here, you can try to, like, correct me. Oh, I'm getting stacked up on blues here now, but... And it moves when you switch levels for some reason. I don't know what that's about, but it does it. But here's the thing, I remember playing this, as a kid, and my brother's computer, when he brought it over one time, and he came home for Christmas or something like that, and brought the computer, and he let me play this. I'm like, this was ingrained in my brain. What was this music? Like, I couldn't figure it out. It was one of those, like, memories that, like, it just, I had to figure out what it was. Haha, that's some dad level joke there, Mastered. And I couldn't figure out what it was, and I found it later on. I was like, yes, that was that just amazing music. And I believe this company got sued later on by Tetris for pretty obvious reasons that you can't just do that. They were not licensed at all to produce this music. Sorry. Yeah, it is. I believe it was one of those, like, I read up on it. I found the music on YouTube, and the actual original composer piped up. Like, I composed this, right? I'm the maker of this game. It was an artist basically just made this music, and then they sampled it off a cassette tape and recorded for this game, and that's how the audio's in the game. Because it's like, oh, hey, I got this cool music. You want to use it for a game? I'm like, yeah, it's perfect for Tetris. And if you look up on YouTube, you can basically find that one music from Tetris. And the original composer made a remix of it a couple years ago, and it was really good. Losing my focus now, but we're not going to play Tetris all night because it's Tetris. I mean, everyone knows Tetris, but I just wanted to show off this just music that, again, it's just way better than it has any right to be for some reason. I want to get one Tetris here. Come on, don't rob me of one Tetris. Come on. One Tetris, all I want. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Again, I don't know why the music is so good. It just is. But it's ingrained in my brain, that music. And when I found it again, it felt so satisfying because it is just really, really good. And that's it. That music repeats forever. There's no different music or anything like that. So, but it's a very solid, Tetris. So, yeah, it's really interesting too. Because for me, when it comes to the Mac around this era, it's just a little different in the sense that it's sharper. It's very like. For me, coming from the PC world, right, you have DOS and you have Windows and eventually Windows 95 and, whatever. And it's like you have the DOS games, which are a certain resolution and everything. But here in this case, you have the Mac Classic stuff. Once you get into this era here, this is your operating system, right? There's no command line or anything like that. This is just OS 7, System 7, and then 8 and 9. But it is just straight up like this. And you can see why they redesigned it for OS 10, which Unix based and everything, but it's weird to have a graphical interface like this that doesn't sit on something else, if that makes sense, because that's what I grew up with or used in my formative years, right? It was DOS and Windows, and then eventually it kind of merged and it was mostly Windows. But the fact that here there's no command line, there's nothing built on that at all, and that's what throws me off a little bit. It takes a while getting used to. So but yeah, so I highly encourage looking up, and I think I can maybe put it in, I think I have access to put a link. One second. I think, yeah, there we go. Let me see if I can put this in here. I think, yep, I have power to do that. Hopefully it didn't filter that out. That is a remix of the original composer. And I highly recommend checking that remix out because it's just, it's top notch. And it's the same one, the same music now, just enhanced for today, right? But yeah, it's I did try it a couple times there. And after, that was before I set the time correctly. Boop. It's a very capable Tetris clone, and it's actually really, really good and fun to play, and it plays really well. And I didn't think too much of this era of Mac because I'm interested in the old stuff and then the newer stuff like the G4s and the G3s, and that's probably because the G4 you can play a lot of 3D games, but you're of course in the PowerPC era at that point, RISC processor and all that good stuff, and eventually Intel long term, right? But here, this is a fun era to explore on the Mac side because if you go through Macintosh repository, there are thousands of games on here that you can play. And a lot of them are really, really fun. There's a lot of stuff that may not be unique on the Mac. There's a lot of stuff that is unique on the Mac, but there's some games that have been ported that might, again, arguably run better on the Mac than they ever did. Yeah, it's probably a little boosted. Yeah, this would not have been a normal amount of RAM you would have from scratch, right? So, it's was definitely upgraded later on. I mean, 32 meg of RAM would be pretty powerful. 36 would be very powerful for this era. I can't remember when this machine came out, but it would have been 93, 94, something like that, right? 25 megahertz. And not that the 68K processors were 1-to-1 for the 486 equivalent. But let's go into a game that like stretches this pretty far. Let's just play some Marathon. Marathon is the quintessential Mac game, right? That everyone talks about and everyone remembers. Which at the point was then like a Doom killer and was unique to the platform, right? And this is, of course, from now world-renowned Bungie. They've been making shooters for quite a while, but it's funny as you play Marathon now. Marathon 2 arguably is the better game. Oh, you got booted from the stream. Sorry. You'll probably have to open that on a new tab. Sorry. Then, as you might see on the bottom now, you see the text is cut off, and that's what I'm talking about, the capture. So it is what it is. This is a demo here now, because this game is challenging to control. And you can tell you're stretching this machine a little far. Now, this was not an abnormal frame rate for the era, of course. This would be perfectly acceptable. But yeah, like you mentioned, there is a lot of HUD here. So let's actually play the game. The controls are really weird, because this is before WSD was standardized. I don't think you can customize that. Preferences, let's see. Ooh, we're on low, too. I don't think I can run high. You can actually change settings. Look at this, all these settings. Sample rate, difficult level, normal. Setup keys. You can do mouse and keyboard? Oh, man. There's only one button, or one mouse button, so... Forward, W... Look at this. Glance left, glance right. Look down, look ahead. Oh my goodness. We'll worry about that later. So that's... Oh, it didn't overwrite. Oh man, it didn't even overwrite it. So look up, we'll do... let's see. R and F, and look ahead is V. Okay. Weapons, that's fine. We'll leave that. Okay. Yeah, I can always lower the quality of the audio here, but we can also do it higher. Oh, there you go. We can go to high resolution driver. No, I can't do that with the low. We'll see what it looks like. I'm not sure if we can get into here after doing so. Yeah, it's interesting because I remember there's that famous video, I think famous, where Steve Jobs is up there saying like we want to make gaming on the Mac the best it can be, but then they just dropped it, right? And of course, for a while there, and I do enjoy that Mac era from like, you know, late 90s, right? You know, 97, 98, 99 and stuff, because there was parity there. There were video cards coming out, you know, Voodoo acceleration on the Macs, and there was a lot of parity, and it's fun to explore as a PC user of the era, which that time is probably one of my favorite eras, right? With the Voodoo and all the full acceleration happening, and then exploring it on the Mac is pretty fun. That's why I like the GeForce so much. Let's see how this runs now. I do not know. We'll see. I'm not sure if we can tune the settings inside the game or not, but low resolution, then this would have been a game like, this is the Doom for this type of machine, right? And oh my. The scan lines are probably... It works. Yeah, the I think the story of the I mean, if you got a Mac, this was the Doom killer, right? Not the Doom killer, but the Doom game for the platform. Especially in this setting, it runs pretty well. Now we're rendering every other line, so that makes probably the and I remember as well, like Marathon was hailed, but then Marathon 2 just took everything to the next level, right? It was much much better. So yeah, we can do that as well. Look how smooth it runs when you're walking to look up at the wall here. Oh. It controls so awkwardly. Yeah. That's true. As for a Mac gamer, I mean, that was an odd time, where I'm sure that, like, you know, you gotta have those, where like PC was getting a lot of the goodies, right? So, am I already lost? Howdy, pilgrims. Yeah, I think everyone remembers the whole debacle with Halo being a Mac exclusive. I remember watching videos on it, like, oh, that's cool, but I guess I'll never play because it's on Mac. And then, oh, it's coming to PC too. Oh, cool. And then Microsoft's like, and then they bought the rights for it, and here we are. That changed the gaming landscape for a long time there. Now, to be fair, it was... Do I have a button to open doors? Can I crouch? This mouse is not keeping up here. Now in this wide open area here, it definitely has some problems with the speed. There's no light when I shoot. It's a little disorienting. Hey, don't hit me, bro. Ow. I don't know how much I'm shooting without... Oh, I died. Wow. Good game, everyone. Can I do anything? It was Apple key quit there. So let's check a few more settings. We can lower the audio sampling like we suggested there. We can also disable the ceilings and the floor to increase speed a little bit. And we can also set it to easy. Oh, kindergarten setting. And see if we get a little further. Begin new game. But yeah, there was, I'm not sure, it was definitely more like tactical. I think Halo started out, because I remember watching the original video on it when they demoed it, when they had like the base assault and that stuff, and then of course turned more into like a single player shooter. So, yeah, it runs even better now. Oh, this mouse doesn't want to keep up. Yeah, Retro Dabo, that's right. It's just like, I love easier difficulties in games because, to be fair, it's like some people really enjoy a real challenge, but often I just want to experience the game and move on. Like, I just don't have enough time to play games as a dad and all that, so, and especially when I spend my time doing retro stuff, but I have no problem lowering difficulty for whatever it might be. Yeah, they really use that. But I mean, again, when this came out, it was like, it was the one. It was like the Doom killer, not Doom killer, but the Doom equivalent, right? There was nothing else, as far as I know, like it on the Mac like this. I mean, you had Wolfenstein 3D and stuff, but here's a proprietary engine with full 3D and, you know, mouse look and all that good stuff, right? It was the one. Everyone always pulled that out. It's like you talked about the schoolyard fights or whatever, but it was always like, well, we got Marathon. Now, the speed, of course, is not remotely the same as Doom, but it also is full 3D, right? In a sense, kind of like more Duke 3D or build engine style going on here. All right, thanks for stopping by, Toby. Have a good one. Go back to work. Back to work. Was there an open button or activate button? Ammunition, I'll take it. There's stairs here. This is where I died. There they are. Come back here now. A red one. This one's so sluggish. Tab, was that the use button? Okay. I think you're overselling what Doom on SNES looked like, because that actually is even worse. Now, incredibly impressive technologically, but let's be fair that the Doom on SNES doesn't exactly run well, so... that's very hard to see. Now, here we have the scan line, so we're rendering every other line. Look at that spaceship out there. Ooh, ammo. I don't know where I'm going. It's pretty labyrinthian here. No, that's all right. Welcome, Solar. I always big on pushing, like, people can join or drop or whatever when they want. They don't have to join. Like, I never expect anyone to join. If you want to come hang out, go for it. If you have stuff going on, don't worry about it. I like people coming and going as they can. It makes it fun, too. It looks really interesting with the scan lines on an actual CRT. For those not aware, I'll see if the action cam works now. I am playing... Oops, that's very overexposed. 1 second. Keep changing it. Why does it keep going back? There we go. For those unfamiliar, I'm playing on an actual CRT. So I'm using a DB15 to VGA adapter, which I just got on Amazon, just a standard one. There's no switches or anything on it. There are ones for Mac that you can basically select little dip switches on it to select the output resolution, which could be handy. And this machine here, you're really only going to play at 640 by 480 anyway. And that goes into a VGA splitter, which then goes to the CRT and then also to the capture, which you're seeing me capturing myself there. But that is... that's pretty much it here. And that's what allows me to play on a CRT, but I'm already lost now. I already killed all the dudes here. So the thing is that Doom nailed was the pace, right? It's just frantic. And you are just constantly moving, constantly shooting. This game, if I remember right, especially like looking at here now too, it's definitely more of the like mysterious kind of exploration thing going on. Barrel, can I shoot it? I think it's got the logo on it, yeah. And that's why it was so revolutionary, right? But this is, again, more the, 2.5D engine in the sense, like, you can actually look up and down. I don't know if it supports people being... Tab is the button, yes. Okay, is this a door here? Nope. I push the tab, nothing happens. So I see a map. And I'm not sure, unfortunately, with the... every other scan line being rendered there. I'm not sure how that looks on the stream, so I apologize if it looks really weird, because that doesn't always come across due to the way that YouTube compresses the video and also the resolution I'm capturing at. I have mulled about, and I probably will at some point, to try and stream in 1440p if my internet supports it, so I might do a test stream at some point to see if that works. Because that would give me more options as far as scaling goes. So right now, I'm capturing the 640 by 480, I'm doubling it to 1280 by 960, and that's what you're looking at. That's pretty much it. It's just a 2x scale. Boy, I have no idea where to go. I will say I was surprised how clean the video output ended up being, because, I mean, this is an integrated video. It's just the one that's on the motherboard. And that's always a little iffy. You never know. Finding exactly the right face and matching and everything worked pretty well, and then that made it look pretty clean, so... can I do this? Aha! That did something. So that button... Something closed again. Did that open a half door somewhere? Where was that? Nope. Nope. Let me go flip that switch and run back here. Run! Nope. We're not going to stick a marathon too long, because, I mean, it's an impressive game for what it is, but... Oh, there we go. I think they're in that room that... Oh. I feel like the little thing... Control. Which one's that? Okay. Oops, that's shoot. Oh, let's run. Thank you. I'm a Mac expert, you can tell. Well, they're on the other side of that one, but I can't even get in there. Whee! I can try and run then. It is definitely opening something there. It just can't handle the pace of a run there. Nope, it must be opening something else. Yes. There might be a duck, I'm not sure. There might be a jump too. I don't know. Space just shoots. There we go. Marathon, everyone. Now, as far as I understand, I haven't played it much. We did play it a little bit, I think, at one point. Marathon 2 is a big improvement as well, and made big changes to the game and the style and everything. And then, as I understand, the Marathon Durandal, which is the last one, was the Marathon Infinity. Marathon 2 Durandal, and then this Marathon Infinity. The third one might be the best one, as I understand, but again, I haven't really... Oh, look at this, terminal. Incoming message from Leela. Page up, page down to scroll. I don't have page up and page down on this keyboard. Okay. Oh, there's a map. All the doors are not functioning. Well, I'll figure that one out. There's the pattern buffer. Oh my goodness. So the pattern buffer is the one... Okay, I was there a second ago. But I think it's easy to rag on retro games in a sense of like, you know, hey, oh, that looks terrible or whatever. But at the same time, you got to remember like where it came from, and what it was at the time, right? That's a big... Oh, there's a go. There's a teleporter here. That's what's going on here. That's opening. So... Okay, that open. Can I do something with it? Huh. Eating William D. Yeah, we'll try. I have the bunkheads on. I couldn't run earlier, but it might have been a memory limitation. So that does something. There's a little bit of light. But you're right. Having the shadow or the light cast when you're... I wonder if this is going to crush me now. Let's find out. Oh, it just squeezed me out. Lame. Worst 3D game ever. So that's Marathon. That's neat. And there isn't a whole lot to show, right? Because it is Marathon. You've seen it, whatever. But if you played this, and this is what you had, if you had a Mac, and I mean, Doom was ported to Mac as well and everything, but I mean, this was the Mac exclusive, right? Windows people couldn't play this yet when this came out. Because I think Marathon 2 was ported to Windows eventually, wasn't it? But it's always the thing that was pulled out. Every time, I remember the schoolyard argument was always that Mac had Marathon, and that was the equivalent. Now, first-person shooters wasn't exactly like a big thing on the platform, but you did have a few that were good, right? So, but that's Marathon. We'll cancel the game because I don't know how to save. And I mean, it was its own engine, and then Bungie started basically as two developers, I think, and that was it. And you know, so why wasn't the music? We have the music here. Can you listen to the music? I was curious why there wasn't music here. No music, yes, whatever. The Max. Original music file. Oh, all right. It is funny because you feel like this is more like a full modern, you know, multitasking operating system, but it is very much like you run one thing and it definitely can do multitasking, but it's more like Windows 3.11 era, right? So it's not exactly full later on. So yeah, it is weird that they bought Bungie, but you know, people are getting bought all the time. So I couldn't get Load Runner to work. I tried using that, but I think it was an image file and I didn't have time. So what basically happened is I loaded games up. I wish I could have more on here, but the hard drive is literally maxed out right now. So I barely have to delete stuff. And I I had to kind of make some tough choices because I got to some games like, oh, I want to have that. Load Runner Returns is, I played that on my uncle's Mac. He had a Mac laptop for work, I think. And that was fun to mess with that. And I wanted to play that again, but I couldn't get it to work right now. Duke Nukem 3D is on too, but that's a large game, and that's would push this one. That's more of a power PC, I would imagine. I'm sure it would work on here, but it'd be like running Duke on 486, right? They call it the Fat Pack or whatever. Is that what they call it? When they have a 68K and a PPC version in the same bundle. But once I can get this machine, there's a couple things I want to do to this machine in general that I would like to explore this machine more. I am intrigued by it. I want to probably do Blue Scuzzy, Fat Buyer. There you go. Thank you. I'm probably going to do a Blue Scuzzy or something equivalent for hard drive purposes. This Scuzzy hard drive will not last. Do a full reload, tune it up, clean it out, look at the caps. I think it's fine with the caps. I don't know exactly. And then definitely get it networked somehow so I can copy files to and from it. Or at least get a CD-ROM drive or something. I mean, the zip drive does work, but it's a little cumbersome to copy files that way. Networking is my preferred method. Now, for the Mac, familiar here. What did I call it? It's not ADUC, it's AADIC, whatever, the proprietary Apple connector that they use for this era. The dongles for that, does it support Ethernet? Because I've seen that they support the 10BASE-T, or whatever, the BNC connector. There we go, yep, AAUI. Does it support, is there one? Okay, so there is one for just standard Ethernet, and that's what I would like. I assume then with TCP/IP installed, or MTCP/IP, or whatever this one uses, yeah, that's all I need. 10 megabit is perfectly fine. But once I get it networked, because my G4 is networked, and I can access my retro NAS from there through Samba, and it just copy files over, and that's way faster than running back and forth with floppies and stuff like that. So when I grind to a halt when I have to do the sneaker net method, right? So yeah, TCP/IP, and that's what I would use. Now, I could, of course, establish Apple Talk between the Macs, and that would be fine too, where the G4 would act as a bridge computer. But the NAS I have, I think, even supports Apple Talk, because it is just a Buffalo Net Station NAS, whatever. We're going to play an interesting game that I played on the Mac SE, which my cousins had. And this is a Swedish game. You play as a student in Sweden when you're done with high school, or not high school, with university. You have a big, like, last day, or in this case, high school too, but you have a big last day and everyone goes out drinking. So, and in this game, you play a student, and it's called Double Morale, and you basically have to be a good student by sitting at home studying, but then you have to run out in town and drink as much as you possibly can without dying. So, you have to drink beer. That increases your need to pee, and if you do not pee, you die. And it's something else. And we play this a lot. We were kids, so we don't really understand it, but it was super fun. And it was developed by some students then who went to that university. Yeah, there's RetroNAS, of course, too. Specifically, what Solar was mentioning is that it's a open source project to run all the protocols, and I have that set up, not on my internal retro network, it's on my standard network. But RetroNAS is a great option because it will basically just run scripts to enable all this junk for you. You basically install Linux, run it on, and then yeah, it's funny because if you get hit by too many tree branches, you die as well. And it says like you have died to death. That's what it says in Swedish. So this game is completely in Swedish, and now you get to enjoy it with me. So it's called Double Morale, and then yeah, made specifically. And the controls for this are really wonky. And it plays like this. So you have a few game screens here. This is your house, your home. You see down here. And this is where you're sitting studying. And your mom is over here making meatballs, because it's Sweden and we make meatballs. She will eventually come over here and check on you. If you're not here, she will walk up to the city and she will throw meatballs until you die. We're getting there. And you basically have to sneak out to town, drink as much as you can to get points. You see here, here's the party points. Here's the good points. This is your drunkometer, how drunk you are. This is how much you need to pee, and this is how much damage you've taken. It's actually hard, and it's an endless game. You can keep playing until you get as many points as you can, and eventually you will die because it gets too hard. And it is phenomenal. Now, I play this on a black and white, and you can run in black and white mode. I think there might be a setting for that here. No, there isn't. but it is, I played on black and white, and it looks really, really good. And there's something I will say, the what is it, 1-bit, or what do you call it? Is it 2-bit, the original Mac, black and white, or is it 1-bit? And yeah, that's what it does. I think she just makes bad meatballs, and that's why they're hard. And she actually takes the meatball, throws it in the air, uses the frying pan to hit the meatball at you, and you take damage. And you better be home when she comes in to check on you. So it basically is a lot of things to juggle at the same time. So we're going to play this, and you'll see how this works pretty quickly. All right, so there's our student. We're going to go to the carnival. And now I have to remember where the heck the controls are, because I already forgot. There we go. And then it is... It's the 0. There we go, to drink. Yeah, I need drinks. And you can pee to reduce your pee need there. You can get hit by the branches, that you take damage from that. You can drink here a lot outside this church, but there's a lot of branches, so you gotta be careful. Ow. And there's a friar. Oh, mom's coming to check on me. I better run down. And she said, good boy. He's studying. So if you just sit here now and do nothing, then you're gonna die from having to pee. So you have to run up here again, and you can regain health by drinking beer, like we all know works in real life. You see my health meter is getting better, but then I have to pee now. And he gets drunk, so he can't run anymore. And he falls down. I gotta hurry. Here comes Mom. Whew, made it. We made it. It's random when she comes and does this, so I think it's just hilarious he falls down, because the more drunk he gets, the more he falls down, too. Which, I mean, this is a very realistic game. Where's the pee thing? The more you drink, the more you have to pee, of course. Oh, good. We managed to take care of everything. Good evening. And here's a pretty girl sitting in the fountain. So we have to swim over there and... Oh. Oh, no! We're gonna be too late. Oh, she just barely made it. You see why we as kids thought this was hilarious, right? We couldn't drink or anything at the time, but it was just... You don't want to get hit by the... and you can, of course, kiss the girl. That gives you a lot of health back. And here's a... let's see, I think you can climb up here. And that's ow. He kept saying, like, freaking student. Who the hell are you? Oh, Mom's coming home. You gotta think strategically there, because you can't go to the side. You gotta come around here. So this is, yeah, playable on a 1-bit Mac or whatever. So we're gonna have to go pee here now. We have to keep strategic going on here. Am I losing volume? Oh, let me know if there's a problem with my volume. Ow. Ow. Oh, come on. Is my volume not even? Maybe it's capturing or messing up with the volume coming out from the game here. Oh, I gotta go pee. I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm really gonna die from not peeing. Oh, I died. So, bladder exploded and you died. You became so having to pee that your bladder exploded. That's what it says in Swedish. So, that's how one of the game ends. And it's still hilarious to check it out, because, I mean, this was just made by a couple students at this university, and the idea is to get as much points as you can, because you see I have good points and bad points add up to the total score, and that's the point of the game, that you saw the entire game and everything there is to do. I think there might be some secret that I forgot or something, because you can get more points, I think, by certain beers. And the beers run out, and they respawn, and a whole bunch of stuff. And eventually, the mom comes in to check on you so often that it's almost impossible to keep up, to run back and forth. But it's a hilarious idea for a game, and it works. And yeah, the fact that he runs outside the screen. I have seen other YouTube videos on this game. I don't know that anyone's actually played it live like this. I have seen like gameplay, but I'm not sure I've seen a live stream. That would be pretty funny, actually, if you can get a hold of him still. That would be pretty funny. Oh, maybe I should try. Who knows? I don't know. Their contact information's in the beginning there. Tracking them down now might be a little hard, but we'll try one more round there. Whoops, I didn't mean to... Oh, and... Crash. Yeah, Bapasian was the company that made it. The thing is, what happened was... with a lot of these things, when people finish school in Sweden, there's just... everyone goes out drinking a lot, and that's kind of where that comes from. You want to avoid... yeah, there's nothing you can change here. And everything is in Swedish, too, here. So I think that's pretty fun. There's nothing you can change in the game as far as like making black and white or settings. So you play. And it took me a while to figure out the keyboard commands. And it's pretty tricky, so... Alright, let's try this again. Now I know the commands a little better. Dang it. Dang it. That one has a lot of beer there, but it's also very risky. Because, yeah, the... I like the fryer comes in there and just... had a pretty good run there. Small apartment. I just love the false... Oh. Run home. Whew, I made it. That's a small apartment. Good boy. I have to show at some point here what it looks like when mom... She basically just like, oh, God damn it! And she comes running after you. Oh. That's a pretty typical apartment, actually, in Sweden around that era, so... And run back. Oh, we gotta pee right now. I'm gonna die. The higher your drunkenness is, the more your pee fills up faster. Oh. Oh. Oh, come on. The branches are freaking trolling me now. There we go. Alright, we're good. We're good for now. He's very drunk. I think eventually if you drink too much, he starts puking, so... Alright, we're gonna swim over here and get the health we get from kissing the girl here, because of course. Solid. Gonna get the max. Oh, just fell down because it's... Oh! You can only decide which direction you puke. This is some high quality gameplay here. Getting a high score. So then of course you have to balance everything here. You have to balance everything. I don't know if I can kiss her again now to get more health back. Yep. Perfect. It was made by a couple of students just enjoying, you know, making games, I guess. Back to drinking. You got a pretty good score going here now. Oh. I know everyone comes here for the family-friendly streaming. Uh-oh. You puked on... Oh. You puked on the principal. He was not happy. Because of course it is. Still puking. Can I pee? There we go. Give it the ear. Oh. Yeah, it's got a little bit of that thing going on there now. Oh. Oh, better go home. Run. Oh, run home. No, you're starting falling over. He's too drunk. Come on. Whew, we made it. That was true. If they had to speedrun on this game and they had to drink every time the character drinks, that'll be fun to watch. Oh, it's branches. It's... Oh. I don't think we get points for that, or maybe we do. I don't know what the objective of this game is. Oh. So you puked on the principal one time too many, so he expelled you. So that's the end of the game there. So I guess you can't get full drunk too many times. So balancing all this is quite challenging, but it's a fun game to check out. That's true, you can't drink according to what the guy is drinking in the game there. But it's still just like, it's just hilarious. And I remember playing this, and I think my uncle was like, look at this, isn't this funny? And then we were like, you know, 8, 9, 10 kind of playing this game and thought it was hysterical. So, yeah, basically, that's the end of the game, and it crashed again. So, it's a fun game, and I think still it's fun to try. And it'll be fun to look up and maybe get a hold of those people. Would actually a pretty cool thing to do if I could. Not sure if that's possible or not, but it'd be really fun to do that. And I would really like to play it on the original black and white as well. Now, I do have a Mac 2 Ci that came with the same bundle, right? If you watched the video, that I think it died now. Yes, it is on. It's on Macintosh Repository. If that's what you ask. I think it was a Macintosh Garden too, right? But Macintosh Repository has it. That's where I got this from. There is a black and white and also color version. Now, I played it again with the black and white version. But yeah, definitely. It's called Double Morale. Play some Snood. I'm not good at Snood, but it's a nice... I see the appeal of this is basically like, you know, Bubble Bobble or Puzzle Bobble, whatever, right? No. We're good. Snood. New game. And it sounds like this is one of those that every single person that had access to Mac basically played. Again, I'm not good at it, but that was a wasted shot there. Nice. Aha. That didn't work out. As you see, it's basically Puzzle Bobble, right? But everyone seems to have played this one. It was just like, anytime you talk about the classroom, then Snood and stuff like that and there's many iterations of it, and isn't this one that LGR real likes too, I think? Yeah, a lot of the Maxis games, I think, had really actually good ports on Mac, and the SimCity 2000, which we do have on here, is a very good and popular one, so I'm not good at this here at all. Ew. It's hard to aim. It kind of snaps into place. So I didn't really play Snood at all, but it seems like it was very popular among the Mac folks. The one that everyone played. Did it really start on there? I thought it was like a DOS. Well, that's the thing too, is there's some games like that got their start on Mac too. I'm trying to think, like, I mean, did Prince of Persia come out first on the Mac Classic? Or not Mac Classic, but the original Mac. We have Prince of Persia on here as well, which is a lovely version of the game too, honestly. Runs a pretty high resolution. I do have an example of another game that was ported from DOS that does not look good, and we'll get to that, but my goodness, I'm getting these. Too many of these things. There we go, that helped out. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Dang it. Nice, okay. Yeah, and that's weird, because a lot of the things that you associate with it, like, right, DOS resolution was never very high. That's not one of the strengths of DOS, of course, is that, you know, they had higher resolution modes. And so, why did I do that one? In some cases, but it was never like the focus or the strength of the platform was probably never resolution, right? I mean, thanks so much for stopping by, Scott. More to come on these Macs. It's really fun for me to explore this. I didn't have much experience with it, so it's super fun to explore. So thanks again for letting me have a chance to mess with them. I was gonna say, there's some games then that look better than they probably ever did on DOS or Windows. Oh, this is not good. I can't. Yeah, this is not gonna end well. There we go. We got a little breathing room there, but I'm snood focused now. This is the easy difficulty too. Failing miserably. But it's not familiar, then Scott is the person who had all these retro Macs here locally. And he saved them because he hated for them to go to a landfill. So that was a great opportunity for me to pick up a few, and a lot of them went to other people in the community as well. Bringing some stuff as well to VCF Midwest. We'll do one more round. I want to beat it at one time at least. But Snood is like, you saw I did beat it there on, I tried it yesterday. It is iconic for the Mac platform. VCF Midwest is next week, September 9th, and there's a 10 and 11. Hello there, Peter Wagner. Are you the actual composer? Did I get that right? Are you the composer for Tetris Max? Is that accurate? Alright, we're playing your game. This, for those not familiar, I do really appreciate it that you joined. Not that I asked or anything, but so Peter Wagner is here. He actually is the composer of the music in the awesome Tetris Max. So we will definitely play that again since you're here. I was mentioning earlier in the stream that when I play this on my brother's Mac when I was younger, that music stuck with me, and I couldn't figure out where that came from. Like, I didn't know what that game was. And then eventually I came across it years later, pretty recently, and like, that's that music. And I love the remix you did too a while back, which is really good. I actually linked it in the stream earlier, but we'll definitely have to play it if you're here. My goodness. Thanks so much for joining. Yeah, sure. Tetris Max, it's just, again, I never knew where that music came from. That I was like, where's that Tetris game on Mac? I know what it was called. I remember sort of Googling it. And then I found the similar things like Tetris, awesome music, and ended up on Tetris Max. And I mentioned it before too, is like earlier, this music doesn't have to go as hard as it did for Tetris. And it just is amazing. I listened to this separately from outside of somewhere, so. And it's just, again, once I figured out where this came from, yes, I listened to this loop forever, I think so. Absolutely, that's awesome. That is true. I should register. So, again, I'm not a Mac person. Yeah, so I guess, Peter, you just composed this, I think, if I read it right on one of the things. This was like composed outside of this. It wasn't made originally for this game, right? Maybe you can give us a little backstory on your composition for this, because at least I think I read on the comment section on one of your videos that I was gonna say, I wouldn't say myself being very good at Tetris. What you see is what you get. I played a lot on Game Boy. It's my cat. If I remember right, reading the description, this was composed and then sampled from, like, cassette or something? Which is awesome. But this was not, like, did you compose it on a Mac, or how did you make this music, I guess? I need a long piece. I really need a long piece now. awesome. But yeah, we had Game Boys, 2 of them when I was a kid. My dad bought 2 so we could play Tetris against each other. And I'm not getting a good spread here now. I need some long pieces, please. Like, right now. That might be too little, too late. Woo. Okay, more long pieces, please. There we go. This is not looking pretty. That's awesome. You did do it on a Mac? That's sweet. Well, thank you so much for joining. That's it's a big treat because I just raved about this music earlier, and I think that I introduced this game as like, this music for this game goes so hard when like you weren't expecting from a Tetris game, right? And that's, boy, this is not going well now. Blame it on being starstruck, I suppose, but thanks for making awesome music. This... Ah, and there it is. Cat is walking around on my stuff. Stop walking on my Macs. Yeah, it's funny because when I tested it yesterday, the game, this very game, I just want to make sure it ran, and I got like 5 or 6 long pieces in a row. I'm like, oh, I'm screwed now, because then you know nothing's come for a long time. And sure enough, I had like long pieces stacked up at the bottom there. We'll do one more run. So that's the one I got yesterday, or no, yesterday was here. We'll do one more. Let's see. I had to rebind the controls because they were a little weird by default. Yeah, I think I linked your remix earlier, which I really, really enjoy. See, now I'm getting like screwed on long pieces here over and over. Now I'm getting lots of long pieces, so it's gonna make it difficult. Oh, alright, I'm getting pretty lucky here now. Look at that. We got a Tetris. Bam. Because yeah, I linked your remix earlier in the stream because I enjoyed it so much, and I guess someone took it upon himself to comment on your video there. It's great. See, this is where I start panicking, like when I can't do my pattern anymore, my system I had laid out, and then things start falling apart. Too many long pieces. It plays like Tetris, right? There's just Tetris, and I think, if I remember right, this was like not official licensed by Tetris. It was like not necessarily, was it called Blocks, or was it always called Tetris? I have some memory that it was called Blocks, but I might be confusing with another type of Tetris game too. Do you know the story behind why it's mooing between the levels? We're all curious on that because we discovered that earlier too. Like, why is there a moo sound effect? Where'd that come from? Bricklayer, there we go. That's what I was thinking. I need more long pieces. Am I committed to this now? I'm bailing out. Not looking promising right now. See, I got so many long pieces in the beginning there. There we go. What a fun treat. I do appreciate you joining, because that is just like, I have this music just ingrained in my brain, and it took me so long to figure out where it was coming from, because I had such vague memories of playing it on my brother's Mac. And then when I finally found it, I think I started listening to it loop for a long time, just basking in it. So, hey, Sucre, welcome. Got a bit of a treat going on right now because the composer for this music has joined the stream. Peter Wagner is here, so. And again, we mentioned earlier, this music is like way better than it, like almost has any right to be for a Tetris game almost. Like it's Tetris, and it's a good Tetris game. But then, like, It's just such an amazing soundtrack for Tetris. I think that's what made it stand out to me, at least. My September otherwise has been pretty good so far. It hasn't been very long. I do not have any Septandy video in the works, if that's what you're wondering. For those not familiar, that is the whole... here we go. I'm recovering. The whole thing with September for a retro theme is Septandy. And I was going to make a video last year and ran out of time. Okay, long piece. Please. There it is. There we go. Bailing out. Yeah, this is awesome. It is just a good Tetris game. There's no much frills to it, if you will, but it is a really good one, so... It's just funny to me when you search for that Tetris music or whatever, I think this comes up. Because don't get me wrong, the original Tetris music is, of course, iconic. But this is the one that stuck with me even longer. Let's just say I don't put the Game Boy Tetris music on repeat in the background, right? So, I'm doing all right now. Yeah, September hasn't been very long, of course, yet. So, all right. Well, this is the best run so far here now. Now it's gonna crash and burn. Maybe. We're going for it. Madman, a madman. And I got screwed over right away. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Man. Apparently Peter needs to join anytime so we can get better scores at Tetris. I'm feeling the flow now here. That was a mistake. Yeah. Ah, bailing out. Again, that mood. Sorry if I missed that. Did you have an insight on that? Maybe you already mentioned it and I missed it because I'm so Tetris focused now, but what's up with the mood in the game? When you switch levels, it seems a little weird. I mean, it's fun, but... Okay. Oh. I have no one to blame but myself on that one. Get to listen to this awesome track on loop here for a long time, but it's funny. It's just, it's so intense it never gets droll. Like playing. Oh, this is not going to go well. Nah. All right, I think I'm tapped out now. I just can't move fast enough now. Yeah. See, this is where it comes across that I'm not actually good at Tetris. I was able to just come out manhandle my way. Oh, there we go. That's it. Whew, that was a pretty good run. Oh. Yeah, it's extremely polished for shareware, I would say, because I mean, it feels like a full, you know, standard release, if you will. But it's pretty funny too, because I guess for me, it's like I'm from the PC era. It feels like maybe I'm generalizing when the Mac seem to be relishing in the sample stuff, and I have vague memories of that as a kid too. Even the game we played here before this, the Double Morale, uses sampling for voices and stuff like that, and I don't feel like it's common. And also DOS was still, of course, very, very popular, and I don't know. It feels like Mac really went in on that. They really are mocking me, aren't they? Yeah, that's amazing, yeah. I'll say that actually ended up being pretty good. Look at that, I even over doubled my score there from my last run. Excuse me. And that was a pretty good run. So again, Peter, you're good luck for Tetris playing. But that's pretty funny. Because yeah, just that memory is just so ingrained in my brain from... My brother brought home the Mac for, again, it was Christmas or something like that, and I got to mess around with Tetris on it, and then it took me years to get to figure out where that music was from. What game was that? Because I didn't have a Mac. So, and then I forgot about it, and I think it was like last year is when I rediscovered the music. And then, like, that's the one. And I remember literally Googling it, and sure enough, I think even your video says that one music from Tetris, right? So, yeah, that's awesome. That's really fun. So I think my old Tetris out there now because my fingers need time to recover, but I'm pretty happy with that run there. So, but it's a solid just game to play. Yeah, thanks so much for joining. It was awesome. That's a super fun surprise. It is just an iconic track. And then again, when I realized what it was and listened to it, and then again, I do really, really like your remix. It's also very good. If you guys haven't checked it out, I think I posted it further up in the chat there, but Peter Dan did a remix of this track. That was pretty recent, right? I can't remember when you posted that, but that was really good. Really good. And very clever use of Tetris Connect in the background there, too, for the video. Oh, nice. Yeah, this is the default one, of course. Anonymous. All of them played on 1970, I guess. So, of course, this is a 4-digit or 2-digit date stamp here for the year. I'm not sure if this is Y2K compliant, but we're going to risk it, so. I should probably register it, huh? Tetris Max. A really fun Tetris game. Another game that I think is really cool for being on the Mac would be, yeah, there you go. Exactly. The re-recording was really good. I did enjoy that a lot, which is why I linked it earlier, and I'm assuming one of my viewers here decided to drop a comment on that one from coming here, so there we go. If you haven't played Tetris Max on the Mac, go play it. Another game that I think is neat on here is Prince of Persia, because it looks quite good. And it's Prince of Persia. You know Prince of Persia, you love Prince of Persia, but it is a very competent version. I don't know here on the story who, because it was the one guy, yeah, Jordan Mechner or whatever, that developed this for the motion capturing on the rotoscoping of the movement. And I don't know what platform Prince of Persia came out first. If it was the original Mac, the black and white, or was it, I know it was out on Amiga early. It was ported to everything. But this version is really good. I mean, it takes some inspiration almost from the, really, Apple II. Wow. Even earlier than, man. It's such a groundbreaking game, and it influenced a lot of the action platformers for a long time. But I think this version is really good. It looks crisp, because it got some of the influences from almost like the Super Nintendo version, but then with this very crisp 640 by 480. And I think in this year, when this was released, 1992, that would probably have been the better, one of the best, like, visually looking, or at least the best looking version of Prince of Persia. Yeah, super fascinating, and I think there's been documentaries about it too, but just watching, I think he rotoscoped his brother jumping, right? And all that stuff is the movement, and all that stuff was revolutionary, because there was the first time, I think, I mean, correct me, first time they used that kind of, capturing to do the animations. There was nothing else that would like that, right? So, I will die. That is the tenet of Prince of Persia, you will die. And it plays really good. See, there is I think it's the return to walk, a shift. There we go. And it's funny, because my friend, my neighbor, played this on the Amiga 500. That's where I saw it. That's all I knew about it, was on the Amiga. Tons and tons, but it was pretty limited in color and everything like that compared to this, which looks really clean. Now, to be fair, in 1992, we're pretty late there, and the Amiga's already had its heyday. Yes, we'll die even with lava. For those that are joining us new, oops. Okay, that's right. Yep, Karateka as well, and that was a really good game as far as animations go too. Really, just revolutionized all this stuff. Don't die! Don't die! Don't die! Made it. First try. This game is one of those, like, brutally punishing games. You pretty much have to figure it out, but again, the thing about 1992 as well for this version, we're pretty late now in... Stop. There we go. I think the challenge for me playing this game is just that the animation has to finish right. Everything has to, like, complete. And it makes the game feel a little stiff by modern standards, so... I know there's a health potion down there, but I won't need it right now. But this looks like a really good version. I think if you're going to play Prince of Persia in 1992, this is not a bad one to do. Oh, that's right. I got to jump over that. Whoops, that. And done. And then you start over. And you rinse and repeat, and you get a little further each time. And you're back to the beginning. Yeah, I mean, you look at Tomb Raider, and that probably takes inspiration from a ton of different games from different eras, right? But Prince of Persia, I think, when you look at pretty much any platforming game from this type, they have some inspiration. It's pretty brutal. All the stuff that, you know, you die often in this game, and all the deaths are pretty gnarly. Like, they don't... Ugh. Yeah, that's true. There are many games like that this day that are difficult in the same way. What's that game that you jump around and you collect strawberries? I can't remember. It's a new one. There's spikes everywhere, but you die, you start over at the same screen like 2 seconds later, which makes those rinse repeat games pretty good. But this game, this required commitment. I think it really is. Like, I can't say that I know every single version of Prince of Persia, but this version looks super crisp and super good, and it plays very, very well on here too. So it's nah, Bugsnax, I forget. It's like Celeste. I didn't play it much. I have a friend who really enjoys it. And it's a movement-based, like, you know, die, rinse, repeat kind of game, right? Pardon for my scratchy voice. I'm not sure what's going on, but I almost do better when I'm distracted, if that makes sense. I can talk at the same time, which doesn't seem to make sense, right? I wouldn't be able to, but now I forget where I need to go here. Don't die! I think I need to do this one, right? On this one. Yep, it's a 60-minute timer, and even if you do really well, and if you don't do it fast enough, you will literally die. The game over, and the princess, I think, dies, so... But you just don't remember what's around here, like, because if you just run here, it's gonna fall down and die. Whoop. I mean, to be fair, I wasn't expecting the, there we go. How do you pick up the sword? I have to go over. Problem is, I do not know how to, is there anything about the controls here? I do not know how to do the sword at all. Okay, you can actually control over here, too. Yeah, the Fight 24, I know. Hard to justify right now. Always be hard to justify it. I think the sword comes out automatically when there's another dude around, right? That sounded out of context terrible. But to be fair, I wasn't expecting... oops, that's not what I want to do. The composer for one of my favorite Tetris tracks to just show up on stream, so... Okay, I have to make a running, and I have to run again. This... I don't think I'm going to make this. I don't think I'll make this. Whee! Oh, he's dead. I guess you can go this route, probably. It's probably better. We'll try one more time. Now you start over from the beginning. Because it's Prince of Persia. Get back in, loser. We'll try one more time. I can only imagine I never ever completed this. Not by a long shot. I played the Super Nintendo version probably the most. I watched my friend. Oh, okay. You can jump? How's your standing jump then? I probably can't. Oh, there we go. Super delayed. Uh-oh. Probably the internet forces. Hopefully nothing wrong on my end. You never know. 55 minutes late. What? I already lost 5 minutes. I should probably watch a speedrun on this game, because I don't know how the heck you actually complete this game. Woo. Yeah, they do lag a little bit, so they can actually inspect the chat, I think. There's no denying that. Made it over. Alright, here we go. Get up here. Come on. So, okay, you can walk over there, and then you can just jump standing still, like... Okay, so you have that jump. There we go. That's the one I need. And it's funny how it is so, like, tile-based, like I mentioned earlier. But I can't go to bottom routes. You get seizure. That's my brain reprocessing it from English to Swedish in my head. No. Okay. That's not... Ooh. One of the problems with Prince of Persia is the input. If you don't do it just right... We'll try it one more time. I want to see if we can get back to the sword dude. We'll try it one more time. The input is brutal, right? So... if you don't do the right input, you die, and that's what happened there, as I pushed up instead of the jump and thing. And then that ended up like that. He's fine. He's fine. You'll walk it off, champ. Walk it off. It is really brutal, this game. Like, not just accounting everything. Let's see. Now I'm like starting to forget, like, which is the jump button. I forgot which one's the jump button. See? One more try. Hang on. Was shift the slow walk or the jump? It was the slow walk. Yeah, I repeat myself a lot when I stream, so. Oh wow. Yeah, good luck with that. You probably need some sleep there for sure. It's been a long day, I bet. It's a small world. I can't sing it, so. Quick save. We beat our head against a brick wall after hours upon hours, and we liked it. Like, when you see people that are skilled at this when they move in it, like, I should watch a speedrun, because I don't think I've ever seen the full, like, completion of this game. Maybe it's a myth. Maybe no one has actually beaten it. Jump. But you get a little more fluid with the movement, and the basic stuff that normally would just trip you up gets easier and easier, right? That's the whole point. And you have to learn. There's very few things in this game that lets you just, you know, plow through it, so... Now you gotta hold the up button too, I think, right? To grab onto the ledge. Alright, we got the sword now. No, I have to stand in the right spot. There's the sword. Okay. It's gonna skip again here when I get impaled on these things, I bet. Let's see if we can do this now. The problem is that I don't know the inputs of sword fighting, because then eventually you'll get to the guard, and you have to sword fight. Insert joke here. And then, let's see, up and like that. Okay, now, I have one more step forward. Okay, one, there we go. Okay, we made it through here. Jump. Should be able to get here. All right, we're making progress now. This is Prince of Persia, just little by little. Okay. I made it up there. Okay, we're getting there now. Okay, up here. It's always hard to... I remember when that came out. So now, I don't think there's a save here, right? Save game. Look at that. Oh, we're cheating. We're saving. There's a save in this game. That will make it infinitely better, because you can get past a certain point and then do. Now the world is amazing, yeah. Such a great environment and like... Okay, I think you pulled a sword out now, right? I do not know how to swing the sword. Open game. Oh, it's amazing. There's a save function. What? Oh, no. To load, you have to use a... Oh, wow. You have to... That's right. There's a copy protection. Yeah, you can't do anything now because this is a copy protection. And I don't have the manual because I downloaded it from... So now you have to basically drink the correct one. Which one do you think it is? I'm going to go with P here. It's always P. Oh. That's pretty genius. Is it going to do that every time now? I assume so. Yep. Drink the potion mash in the first letter of word 3 or 2 on line 1 of page 3 of the manual. That might be to stop to it there, but like I think the manual is available, of course, but page 3, line 1, word 2. Is there any more letters over here? They really went all in on this one. If I had the box for this, of course, that'll be easier. Look at this. Word 2. F it. We'll drink this one. I think you get 2 chances in case you actually misread it. It's pretty commitment to having a cop protection here. Ooh, P. Let's drink that. Say, if someone wants to look up that in the manual, we can actually do it properly. You want to do a... You probably did look it up there, which one was the right one, so... Someone want to look it up for me? Alright. Page 16, line 3, word 1. I can find it otherwise, so... It's a PDF. Okay, so let's see. Version 1, I think. We'll find out. Let's see. Page 16. It's not in this version. Wrong version. You found the second one? Alright, I'll try. Okay, now the prince's health is up to you. There's no K here. Let's see. There's K. It is pretty trolling, isn't it? But effective, clearly. But still pretty fun, too. All I want to do is just try and fight the dude again. Door opened. Thank you. I love the animation, too. Look at that. Oh, it just saves the level you're at. Do I have the sword? Nope. So that was a huge way. So the save is actually not a point-in-time save. It was just a, it was just like loading the level. Whoa! Whoop, 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 whoop. That's amazing. Maybe I can run and tackle him. Let's try and tackle him. It's not very effective. Oh my. Well, it's funny too, because I think back to the games, many of the ones we play here, right? Where I just got sword rolled, I guess. Where the game's length was based on difficulty. It wasn't like the game had a long campaign or anything. It was just, this was a game you just kept grinding away at, right? You know, you just got a little further each time. I mean, it's more like a roguelite in that sense that we get that, but without the checkpoints and stuff like that. And of course, the save was available there, but as we saw, it started level over, so. Fake news, the Prince won. Alright. What else should we play now? We have a few other games here, too. One game I want to show, actually, which is Monkey Island on here. And I want to show it because here's where this goes wrong, right? Where a lot of these games from Prince of Persia that you saw has got a very nice resolution. 640 by 480. It looks very sharp, very colorful. It looks really good. I mean, if you're going to play Prince of Persia on a computer, that's a good version. I don't know the later PC re-releases, but that Mac version is excellent. Besides, me dying over and over. So the problem is that it doesn't let you run games at a low resolution, which means Monkey Island's been upscaled. And you'll see what that means. And the sound is not quite right. And that's where things get a little wonky. Now, maybe I'm missing something and I'm using the wrong version. But doesn't sound right at all. And look at the upscaling. It's like using the smoothing filter and like touche. Oh god. Yeah, sample, right? It's just, so it's all sample based on the Mac. It doesn't have like any like auto generate. I mean, I'm not a musician or, you know, but yeah, exactly. It's horribly upscaled and it just sounds bad. And if you have to experience Monkey Island this way, I'm sorry. It's so much. The VGA version with the MT32 is amazing, right? I probably prefer the Tandy version to this even, which is like a 4-bleep blooper. This just sounds awful. It's teeth grating. Are you enjoying it so far? And maybe it was never intended to run on this version of this Mac. I don't know. You're just doing it wrong. You just make sure you hold the computer like this when you listen to it. It just it reminds me of like the harmonica Jurassic Park one. You know that. Look, it's upscaling. It just, I mean, and I have a feeling it's just like they just, either it's just a port thing or they felt it looked good. And there was an era where people were trying to like get away from pixelation. Pixelation was bad. And now I feel that's a huge resurgence now on, like, you know, pixel artistry is an appreciated art and games can look really good that way. So, and this is not that. And I don't know if we have any options for that. We have window, tiny, medium, and large. We have options under here, which is just music quality is best. As we saw, that was the best music quality. All right, you got the Mister working? Nice. And maybe Peter can compose some music for this here. Yeah. I'm glad you have the Mr. up and running now. Mr. is amazing, and I'd really like to make it out of Mr. video here soon. Probably focusing on a core, because I feel like I mean, I'm not a musician, but that's not even, like I said, it's not even in time. It just... I think that I'm guessing it's the good. A sample rate, I'm guessing, right? I mean, otherwise, it's Monkey Island. Once you get into his Monkey Island. What I'm a little curious about is this option here. Fix color map. It feels to me that there's a bug somewhere in the game that it just the color gets wrong. And the only way to fix it is to go in and like press that button. Because it looks to me like the Amiga or version of whatever. Look at poster. I mean, the text looks alright, but it's so ingrained, the pixelated sharp edges, right, to all this. We'll see how this sounds when I open it here. That's true, yeah. I should actually play Amiga sometime too, right, and not just mess with the God! Is it the bagpipe edition, low sample quality? Oh my god. It's like a drunken musician free riffing on like a Casio keyboard or something. Make it stop. I can't even hear any difference. I think it's stuck in a loop. Can I... Oh, thank God. Can I change it to high? Oh, that actually did make a change. Look at that. I mean, this is way better by comparison. I mean, it's still bad, but... So what's the better then? I mean, there's melody here still. And there was something there, but the... Is it really... it's like the you know, the send-offs or like some funeral and they're standing there playing bagpipes in the rain in New York City when the cop is... Wow. So hilarious. I kind of want to hear the... God, I kind of want to hear the intro theme again with that. Let's see what the intro theme sounds like with that setting. Bagpipes ahoy. I mean, what's this instrumentation? Oh, I will increase the volume, sorry. It is like a Nokia cell phone. It feels like it's like just this free riffing, Was that Ted? Turn it up even more? I mean, I'm sure there was a decision made somewhere, but I mean, at least even looking this briefly at this port is not good, everyone. I mean, it does not feel like Monkey Island. It feels like, well, unfortunately, there's Eric Johnson and the two people there that did the conversion here, and I feel bad for the people that experience Monkey Island this way. Perhaps the only way they experience it, but I would think that literally any other platform would. I mean, I'm not sure if it's the sound chip in this Mac, you know, is it incompatible? Is it expecting something else that it can do? But I mean, it's like the tempo is bad, the sound itself is bad, it just... It sounds to me like something is wrong, right? I hope that this is not the experience for everyone that when they play this game on every Mac, but it sounds to me like when you select a wrong sound mod or just the wrong sound card in DOS or something like that, or it sends the wrong instructions, or you have the wrong Roland MT32 setting or something like that. It's complete instrumentation error here. Touche. Where is there else is there music in the beginning of this game? Because the scum bar is there, but I don't remember where they all... Oh, there's music in the voodoo one. It's just like... The people responsible for the music have been sacked. The person there just got kicked out. Oh my god, it's Monty Erdland. I'm not sure I want to go into the scum bar again. Open the door. I'm gonna set this as my wake-up tone now on my phone for my alarm. Yep, forget that. Oh, now we get the... When I was a kid, and I've never been able to make music. I remember my sister had a Casio, or maybe it was Yamaha, like a, you know, pretty basic synthesizer in her room, or synth for practicing piano stuff. And when I was allowed to touch it, I would just play with instrumentation on it, like hand clap and trombone. I thought it was super fun to do that. But I remember when I was trying to play music, I just kind of mushed the keys. And that's, like you said, Christopher, I think this is pretty much what it sounded like when I did that. So for a second here, let's switch over to the other one and see. This is... I mean, this at least has some... I can't get over that this shipped in a game. Good. Not better or best, but good. Yep. Good. Ship it. That this was sold as a commercial product with this here. I mean, there has to be something wrong, right? There has to be that the sound chip in this Mac is not compatible with this game. Or something, right? There's no way this is, like, legitimately shipped. Right? I mean, PC speaker sounds better than this. I have no further comments. This is hilarious, but I'm always careful to go off the deep end or go into the deep end when it comes to some of these things, because some people may remember this extremely fondly and it's their favorite thing growing up or whatever. So I will never, like, you know, dump on a system or, like, say, oh, Nintendo's better than Sega or whatever, you know. There's a lot of different people that have endured a lot of different things, but that is just hilariously atrocious, and I apologize for anyone that had to play the game that way. Also, this upscaling is just awful. Where's the voodoo one? Yeah, there we go. I was looking for the music now. Is there a melody in here? Is there a melody here? Because again, you switch... I mean, the other one sounds really bad too. But this has something. Like, what causes the worst version here now to literally have... And I don't think there's any difference on the better one. It seems identical. What causes it to just... Again, it sounds like bagpipes run amok, you know. Bagpipes gone wild or something. Oh, please. Yeah, I want to get on the map. I can't open the door. Whew. I want to get out on the main map because there's music there too. No, it's not here, is it? No, you gotta go back to the beginning. All right, I forgot. We did play Monkey Island with the MT32 sound, you know, I think a couple of years ago now, a year and a half or something. And that was top notch. You know, the VGA version with the good music is really, really good. But I don't know why they did this upscaling filter. It looks really awful, but I guess, again, they were trying to hide the pixelization from back in this era. You know. Yeah, it would be funny to see that music being used elsewhere. Because, I mean, it doesn't sound like the Monkey Island soundtrack at all. I just feel like there's some guy, like, just rocking out on, like, tiny, like, Casio guitar. Yeah! Yeah, maybe. That's what I wonder, too. It's gotta be... This is bad. Like, the timing feels off, and it feels like the samples are clipping into each other. But that's at least... That's what this, you know, more supposed to sound like. And you're right, it might be that this just runs way too fast, and it's just not made for this at all. And that's gotta be it, right? There's no way that was a good one there. Now, this is the fastest 68K processor, I think, that was in the Max. So, but... What's else? I don't think there's anything else there to do. Tiny. Oh, look at that. Interesting. Now the scaling is better, because it doesn't have the, This looks way better than the upscaling. I don't think it has any upscaling right now at all. I mean, besides the whole fact that it's tiny, but this looks more like the original thing, so that's what they're doing. They're just literally just upscaling it to... Yep, they're using just very non-integer upscaling. Just... Yeah, this is a very speed-sensitive game, for sure. When we played it on my Pentium 166, I had to clock down the processor quite a bit using set and multiplier to get the game to run. It would not boot even with faster processors, so that's got to be it. But at the same time, if you bought this game and then you went to play it on your bog standard Quadra 610, now you probably leave it in the set. But if you decide to change that setting to the lowest one there, that's what you got. So, anyway, it looks great when you're doing it this way. I think it has to do with the fact that it's not doing very good scaling. This looks a lot cleaner, which makes a lot more sense. Even it's got scan lines, but it's got to be scan doubling it, yeah, right? Or doubling the pixels, so... Oop, troll. See ya. Oh, boy. Okay, I think that's enough Monkey Island. I think we know about Monkey Island now. Yes, I do want to quit. I never want to hear that again in my life, but I was not going to show the sound wasn't the main thing with this one. It was the, yeah. Oh. I don't think I was able to get this to run. I was at an image. I'm not able to do that, so... that's the thing, too, and I will say, so for one thing, because I didn't see you mention that, because yes, the console thing was very convenient, because you just played it, and I found that, at least in most games here now, you know, the Mac it's a known quantity, right? So you have a Mac, you kind of know what processor it has, the memory, and the specs and everything, and especially playing this, there's no variance on the Macs on that level, except with Monkey Island sees, I guess. But and I mean, you had something too. It's like I am a huge PC nerd from that era, and I played a lot of PC games. But there was always tinkering involved. There was always RQs, and there was always this and that to get games running. Once you get in the flow of it, it's fine. But I mean, let's be honest. For us that played PC games in the era, we spent a lot of time tweaking and troubleshooting, and doing, you know, figuring out which settings for AutoExec bat and config.sys to get it to work. When you boot the Mac here and you run SimCity 2000 here, it just plays. Right? You just start the game and it runs. That's it. You don't have to do any of that tweaking. Now, that said, to be fair, once you get your machine working well, you don't have to mess with it. Like, that's why I like my 486. It's got a Sound Blaster 60 in it, a 48666. It's a bog standard machine, and that runs most of those games from that era with no problem. It's super compatible. It doesn't run too fast, not too slow, etc. But the Mac did have that going for it, I think, in the sense that if you got a game for Mac, it just ran. I mean, in general. I mean, there's always the differences in the sense, especially when it went to the PowerPC processors instead. Yeah, that is true. There's no tweaking involved at all. So that's a fair point. When you did have problems, there wasn't much you could do. And especially seeing that here now, because for me, the first thing, like in Windows, there's like a million things, or in DOS, you can make or break or change. There isn't a lot you can make changes for here in the control panel. There isn't lots you can, I mean, you can make changes to memory and stuff like that, but you don't have under the hood access to mess with stuff in the same way. There's extensions, things like that, to expand. There's, like, for example, PC Exchanger is installed that lets you open PC floppy disks and stuff like that. Which I should probably have checked if I can do. That would have made everything like this I'd mess with a lot easier, wouldn't it, huh? I'm trying right now. If that works, I probably spent a lot of time messing around with stuff. That's a 720K. If this can read this now, then I spent a lot of time doing a lot of extra work for virtually nothing. Welcome to Rick Learns Things About Macs That Are So Obvious I Should have done in the first place. So, this computer has a PC Exchange compatibility layer that lets you open PC floppies. All the stuff I did with all the Mac junk could have been very easily taken care of by just copying stuff to a Mac or a PC floppy and then be done with it. But here we are, I learned a lesson, and in the end, isn't that what matters? Throw it in the trash. Now, this trick I always thought was hilarious. It ejects it when you put the floppy in the trash. This is a mechanical, like, eject thing too, but here we are. Yeah, it's like 10,000 Mac floppies and all you need is a PC floppy or something like that. It's not ironic. Very ironic. Well, I had fun doing it anyway, so, you know, that's what matters, right? Let's check out the SimCity version, which I think is pretty good here. Let us distract from the me spending like hours doing something that was pretty simple. And since all of these machines were in that lab setting, I think that they just assume they have to transfer stuff back and forth all the time. This is registered. They have a music option here by chance? And this feels like a pretty good, you know, version of the game for sure. Yeah, that takes a little while for me to get over to, and to be fair, I'm not salty about this thing. I'm more like the Picard facepalm in the sense that I could have done this whole thing in the first place and just copy the files very easily, because I have lots of machines there with PC floppies, of course. I could have drug the files. Now the question is, would would the Mac file survive unscathed on a PC floppy? I don't know. That's more meant for opening documents, so that might have been that would have stopped things dead in its track there too. So, I mean, to be fair, there's that. I just think it's funny more than anything. Articulating splines. Baseball times. SimCity 2000 really is amazing, isn't it? Yeah, so there's some games. I don't know that... let's see, what's our time? Pause. We don't have an option for low-quality music. Sorry, everyone. That's what you're looking for. I don't think that... I mean, not all games have crossplay, but it seems to me that... I remember Blizzard has crossplay, so Warcraft 2 would play... over network, if TCP/IP is installed, I'm guessing, with a, or IPX, I should say, will work with a Windows, or sorry, a DOS and a Mac together. I think, at least that's what I read, is Blizzard games seem to have crossplay. But the Max's games play really well on the Macs for this era. Now, this would have been like playing this on a, you know, pretty decent 486, right? So, But it's still SimCity, and it plays pretty good. We're not going to play SimCity that long because we know what it is, but I need a palette cleanser here now. Power lines. No, not power lines. Power plants. Coal. Take that, environment. This, of course, has, I think, SC55 support, right? And that makes it a big... Sound doesn't sound very good, does it? But it does work pretty well, so... Let me bird out. I don't have you on there? I guess not. Yeah, I can take care of that, but something you need me to look at right now, otherwise you can drop it in chat or something here. Thirsty Immigrant, and we got stuff going here now. Light Industrial. I won't play SimCity too long, because I mean it's a pretty known quantity, but see, this is the thing where like the second mouse button will be really nice, but they don't give you that, of course. Water pipes. So I'm gonna start playing. I'm just gonna start playing SimCity 2000 because it just gets stuck in this game. There's no escape in this game. Building very haphazard, and like again, there's no real good reason for Apple to ever have gone with single button mice, I guess. It always feels like a thing, and I had a friend who was really adamant that it was perfectly fine. All I have to do is hold the, the modifier key, and it's perfect, it's great, it's amazing. Like, he couldn't... oh yeah, I know. I started realizing as I was playing SimCity 3000 at the time I streamed it, I just enjoyed a little more haphazard cities, I guess. Which is much to the chagrin of people that prefer straight things and lined up things. Need a school. Need a police station. Nope, need a fire station. And we need power for those. Bzz. And water. Thriving little community already. Right? Well, above all, something I was trying to, okay. Eastern Mind, Lost Souls of Tongnu. I think I saw that when scrolling through picking games, but I didn't download it. So the problem I have right now, for me to get files to this computer, I have to boot up the G4 and I have to use a zip drive. It would take a long time to get there, unfortunately. So I'm not sure I can do it live on stream now, but we'll check out the other games we have. But I'll add it to the list because, again, I like to get a Blue SCSI for this one, which for those unfamiliar is a adapter that lets you use a modern SD card on a old Mac. And at that point, you can then load up as much as you want. Because the 160 meg is not very large, of course, and this hard drive is going to disappear, I'm sure. It will not last. Boy, they really went industrial, huh? I was playing SimCity 3000. I really liked the leaving some room. Don't tell me the boring stuff. Nope, no bridge, please. I was trying to make more space in between, if you will, to have room to put other stuff there eventually, too. The water pipes I have zero excuse for. They're pretty terrible. I think this is very fair way to play SimCity 2000. Any of the Maxis games all run, well and great. And then you have games like... Sim Tower, of course, that was kind of like a more Mac exclusive, not exclusive, it was on PC, but it had more important, or not, extra stuff in the PC version, and of course the sequel, U Tower, which I actually recently got the big box for, so we'll stream that sometime. But this is the, where did my mouse go? There it is. This is the sequel, which did get a PC release, but I do think, I was going to say, LGR streamed, or not streamed, but he did a video on this, and this is a much improved version of Sim Tower, but the PC version is completely incomplete. Completely incomplete. But the Mac version is full and has all the cool stuff. So we'll stream that sometime too, because I'm a big fan of Sim Tower. So if you're going to have this on Play U Tower, it is much better to play the Mac version if possible, because the Windows version lacks a boatload of stuff. Hi, cat. It's SimCity. There's much more to say about SimCity. Everyone knows about SimCity, but the music was all right there. But again, it's not. This is something to remember too. Is the Quadra is I know my Macs is definitely running the middle pack of Macs, right? It's not a overpowered one, and it's one that you probably saw a lot at home or in schools or whatever, right? It's a pretty middle range machine, and just before the Power PCs came out, I believe. So there was a lot more to give there. SimCity. Have a park. Guy, there was much rejoicing. It is the inevitable conclusion of any SimCity city. The monster here was quite something. I would say probably SimCity 2000, maybe the one SimCity game I spent maybe the most time in for SimCity. Maybe that, or the Super Nintendo version. Nightpixel, thanks for stopping by. I know you're going to hear that lovely music in your head now when you go to bed. Try not to get too much rest there. I really should sample or capture that somehow. Post it. Maybe someone knows about it. Why that is. Bzz. Bzz. Yep, she came back. She's like, oh, I can be here now without, you know, basically dying. It's a fine version of the game, no doubt. And it seems to me that Max has really supported the Mac quite well. But it is... No. I don't want to say facepalm. Nothing can say facepalm. Let's see what else we're going to play. I said we have a few more games I want to check out. Let's do an arcade game, because Maelstrom is an arcade shooter. Yeah, thanks so much for stopping by, Peter. That was awesome. Really appreciate you creating that music. It sticks with us for so long, but thanks so much for joining and hanging out. But yeah, Maelstrom is more of a arcade shooter game, and it is a tricky one to figure out. It's more an Asteroids clone. All right, thanks for stopping by, Sean. See you later. Have a good one. It has a interesting control scheme, which was really difficult for me to play. So we'll see how this goes. I struggle with it, but maybe I can figure it out. If I can make it sort of through the first area of Prince of Persia, I can probably make it through this a little bit. So, but this is basically a, you know, basically like a, I was gonna say asteroid clone with some extra stuff in it. So, all right. Oh, that's loud. Apologize. Did they put that in there so that you would register? I remember this game just being very loud in general. I was going to say, I saw testing this yesterday, and yeah. Configure the game controls. It's just a very loud game. Oh, okay, so here's the problem. We'll do thrust. There we go. Shield. Control? There you go. Ambrosia, the software company, not Ember, or not Tech Ambrosia. I think what you're being sold is the Ambrosia software, yeah. Which is, I'm guessing, no longer around. It sounds like they were pretty prolific around the Mac era, which is making tons and tons of Mac games, so... Okay, start playing. Did I set all of that now to... Yeah, let's redo that. Boy, that's loud. Let's do shield on 0 instead. I think just working on the 486 build-off now, I think. There were no survivors. Oh, I think I got the controls inverse. No! That's not gonna work. Great. I think I got the controls inverse there. Yep. Have to rebind to something else first. Okay, there we go. This will still not go any better, but there we go. Ramming. Feels like an Amiga AGA game or something. Like a bonus points are going down because I'm not wrecking these things. Your speed seems like... Wave 1 completed. Forever wave 2. Oh, they have the balls of steel. I'm just gonna stay here. Ah! Alright, I never moved. Okay. Evening Philly cheesesteak. It's gone well so far. We especially very much enjoyed the Zoe, for crying out loud. The Monkey Island music was amazing, so definitely watch a replay of that. Whoa, it accelerates really fast. Really fast. Ah. I'm missing chat there. It's pretty intense, actually. But I'm a little sad that one of the games that I did copy was Power Pete, and that looked like a really cool platformer, or a top-down, like, fighting or shooting game, that I couldn't run because of the issue there. But I don't want to take the time to copy stuff now unless people want me to do that, but we have other games to play too. But that's one that looked like a classic one for this platform. Saw that being recommended by many, so... Whoops. The speed is just... Ah. I found, maybe I'm generalizing, but it feels like, not that there weren't many games like this for Windows and, you know, shareware stuff and DOS as well, but it feels like there's a lot of these bite-sized games for Mac. Maybe it's just as I'm scrolling through the Macintosh repository and seeing all of them, but it seems like there's a lot of these kind of small little bite-sized games, so... They're for some reason really loud. This is let's see, 7.5.3, I think. You'll see. Oops, I was looking at that, but you'll see the spec thing rotate here soon. But again, I'm not a Mac person, so it's which ones are the good ones or not, or which version is the better one to run. I don't know. You know, I probably reload this one. I'll probably have to research which version should be best. This one's shipped, but 7.1, I think, something like that. At least from the factory, but then quality's been upgraded, so. The sample stuff is interesting because it is just all over the place, right? I mean, especially, again, we talked about the cow in Tetris Max earlier. Whoops. Really? Is there a paywall? I haven't registered for them, and I don't have a paywall, so you can use the paywall to download stuff, but or you can pay to get faster downloads, I think, but I'll defer to the community, so that's just where I've gotten stuff in general, but well, that's an Asteroids clone, so that's fun. No, that's fine. One game I want to show, actually, which is actually interesting, which is based on the Marathon engine, is Sensory Overload. Yeah, so you can't hear everyone scream. You sure can. Don't worry about Solver. So, but Sensory Overload, or sorry, I don't understand Exodus like bundle in that sense. For Mac, there are several websites like we're mentioning here. There's Macintosh Garden and then Macintosh Repository. And in both cases, say you can just download almost every game for this platform in this era. There's so many. There's so many to pick from there, and that's how I get most of my games. And I think that's really there's a well-cataloged collection of games for Mac from this era that you can just pretty much grab. So there's no really any keeping track of that kind of stuff. So, and this game is interesting because it is based on Marathon engine, so you'll see the influence pretty quickly. But it's set in like an office situation, and it is something that would take advantage of a Power PC. But we don't have that here. So, yeah, that's the thing. You think a very distinct like difference here, right? For OS 9 or for the 68K Max and the Power PC ones, and yeah, G4 is probably the best one. Like I have the G4 AGP. That one runs Mac OS 9 great. It's like 400 megahertz, I think, and that's pretty powerful for that. But it lets you play all the classic games from the late 90s, because I consider it almost like a Windows 98 equivalent, right? Mac OS 9. And that lets you then play all the 3D games. And we streamed on that before, but then you can play Unreal and Quake 3 and all that good stuff on that thing. And that's a cool era too. But then yeah, Mac OS 9 and the processor on the several hundred megahertz versus this one is a 25. We're gonna check the preferences here. This is again using the Marathon engine, so we have some settings. I disabled the floor texture and ceiling to get a little faster. Because I don't think I can configure the movement here right, so yeah, because we live streamed for GPU June, the first one, which was way back, and that was we did a Rage 128 Pro, and we tested some games, or we played some games on there. So, see, my streams, I really enjoy doing random stuff. I know this sounds weird that I'm not keeping playing the same game over and over. But I really enjoy checking out stuff I may not have otherwise experienced. And there's sometimes we do one game, we play it, and we returned a couple games, which I really should finish up some of them too. But I just have a blast going random every time. A game I might know, a game I might know. So, yeah, I sure did. I dropped in a Radeon 7000, I believe, in that one, because that was basically the default card in one of the faster G4s. And I did a video on that, and that gave it quite a boost graphically. Quite a bit. I mean, it was almost twice the performance in some cases. Yeah, I did RTX Doom. That one I streamed. I have not streamed RTX Quake 2. And yeah, Jedi Knight, that's the first one that comes to mind. People ask about that one. That is the second most requested one after Shogo, so that's like 2 people have asked for it. I should return to Jedi Knight and finish that out, because that game is a blast, really. It is a automatic copyright flag, but that counts as Star Wars. I'll take that hit, because it's fair that they get the money from the ad revenue, because they own the music, but you can't play Star Wars without the music. It just completely is, maybe even worse than Monkey Island for Mac now. Yeah, and it's a fun game, so that's right. The remastered. So I saw that come out. That's on GC Doom, right? That's what runs that. So you can't do RTX on that one. Yeah, it's funny because I know there were several people that asked for it. You're not the only one, and I know you did ask for it. But then I dropped that on Discord. And people are like, "We did," and there's been several people that did ask me for Shogo for sure. I did not make that up, but that was a fun game too. A really cool game for what it was. Sensory Overload is a first-person shooter that uses the Marathon engine. Oh, there's movement controls. I can't click it anymore. I should rebind if I can. I didn't see there was a button there. Like interfaces from the 90s, man. They were just all over the place. I made it all up. It's all in my head. It's been corrupted by Monkey Island sound. There was a story there. You're experiencing sensory overload. That guy is experiencing really bad sensory overload. Can I exit out of here? Yeah. I honestly am not sure. I may not, because I go into VCF Midwest. We have the grandparents are coming to take care of the kids while we're out. Oh, look at this. Let's look at all this. Can I rebind this? No. Thrustmaster. Oh my goodness. So it's WASD, it looks like, actually. Kind of. G and H for fire. You memorize that now? Anyway, so I'm not sure if I'll stream next week. There's a lot of prep work to do for the show, or not show, but I'm not going to be in the show, but I have to do. So I have to make a game time decision on that one. Probably not on Thursday. But I might stream on Wednesday. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But yeah, for sure, not Thursday's going to be out. And I may have to skip next week just for the prep of the show. I got to take care of all the stuff for the travel, and then also the stuff I'm bringing with me, because I am bringing a lot of stuff with me that I'm hoping to just pass on. Stuff that I built up over time, and a nice part of an event like that is that then it can go out to people that might want it without having to ship stuff, because that's always a tricky part. Cat hair. Huh. My goodness, cat hair. Alright, we'll just try the game. New game. A little early because we have a so the problem with this, like, we kind of have a schedule now. The kids are in karate and we have soccer, and we have so many things that I didn't realize as the kids get older. Going out of the diaper stage and all that stuff is one thing, and that's, you know, it's nice that you can communicate with them and there's more stuff to do. But my golly, the amount of stuff and activities they have now is just through the roof, which is fun. It's fun for them, and it's enjoyable to see them grow. But we are shuttling kids left and right almost every single day. That's not Thursday. Anyway, so we're playing then Sensory Overload, which is a first-person shooter that runs on the Marathon engine, which does not run quite well on here, but is optimized. Use spacebar to open nearby doors. And you can click here to turn the light on. Look at this. Interactivity. And it's an office setting. This was enhanced for PowerPC, it looks like. And I have settings pretty low here now. We're actually taking the car. We're taking the Subaru, so we're limiting ourselves a little bit on what we can bring back. But I like to bring stuff there and then bring stuff back, because last time, I mean, it was... Oh, look at that. Medium. There we go. That might help a little bit. Oh, that's much better. This is really quiet now because I turned it down. It's got pretty cool music, actually. Take that. Yeah. Yep. That runs pretty... This would have been a fully acceptable way to play this game. I mean, it's just the UI is huge, but... Mouse controls would be nice, but I don't have that luxury here. Cool music. Ooh. Is that Mo from... Or not Mo, but... Otto. Alright! Sound like the bus driver from Simpsons there. There's this extreme amount of like voice sampling going on in the Mac. Terrorist stormed the building. It caught us right in the middle of an experiment. I'll be fine until the police arrive. Be careful. It controls pretty janky, but at least I tried to make something unique here. I think this one is unique to the Mac. Like this game was not ported to anywhere else that I know of. I mean, maybe that's not a huge loss, but at the same time, it is unique, and it's a little different than Marathon in the sense that it has an actual, you know, quote-unquote real setting. Just figuring out the commands you can... The G and H are the attack buttons. Anyone here? And no map. I don't know where I'm going now. All the corridors look the same. Where I came from? Duck. Oh, health pack. Alright! It feels a little, the shade of blue is very hospital-like, right? But it feels, look at that table there. It feels very, I was gonna say something very deep and insightful here, but oh. Yeah, that's the thing that I think was forgotten a lot, is the level design. I mean, say what you will about John Romero and the team there, but it's like they crafted such good levels. Not all levels are amazing in Doom, but I mean, there are so many levels that just flow so well, and you didn't have nearly as much hunting as some of these games that they try to do pretty uninspired level design. Now, there's probably only so much you can do here with this engine, but no. Alright. More ammo. I was gonna say, I feel so lighthearted. It's like, alright, dead bodies everywhere, no one's alive. Yeah, I got some ammo, cool. You know, that's kind of what it feels like right now. And the ow. Alright. Wolfenstein 3D did get a port on here, and also runs in the higher resolution mode. I did copy that one. Oh, look at that TV. Look at the graphics. It feels like the Dire Straits music video here a little bit now. Was it Dire Straits or was it ZZ Top? No, it was Dire Straits, right? The full like 3D. It does feel very cramped. All the rooms are the same here. Anyone tired of this music yet? I wonder if Civ 11 would play this game. I think he would just not enjoy himself because there's not enough variety here. Oh, really? So without a map, I don't know where I'm going now. Cool music. I have no idea where I'm going. Air vent there. Offices. Microwave ovens. Money for nothing and chicks for free. Yeah. Look, now we have some sensory stuff. The carpet there. Now, to be fair, I did set down the settings here to the lowest because, yeah, this might run better on a power PC. But it doesn't help the map situation. I have no idea where to go. Yeah, cool. Cool game. Again, it's like, I mean, if you bought the game and this is what you had, then that's what you played, right? 3. Is that a good or bad? I'm getting somewhere, right? No, that's where I started, I think. I don't think you'd want that. Yeah, I know, it's so easy to find where we're going, too. It's like you can tell the ambition outpaced the technology, right? There's many times that's happened in the video game world, but this may be pretty blatant. First of all, about the 3D section of Hostages. It was called Hostages on Amiga. That's right. Yep, this is the beginning. So, I like the fact that they put the light switch there as one button, like, look what you can do, and never show it again. Good thing the music isn't getting repetitive, but at least it's not Monkey Island, so... I never had the Xbox in the original with the arcade stuff. Ooh. He's trying to punch himself. Quit hitting yourself. Quit hitting yourself. Whoosh. Can I shoot the... That's a very Amiga-sounding shot, too. Which, to be fair, anytime you get into games from this era, you'll probably have a lot of people that, you know, cut their teeth on the Amiga scene and making games for that. Yeah, part of me, like, feels sad I missed out on that online era that early on with GameCube and stuff like that, but it was just no one that I knew that played it right, and the adapters were expensive, and it's just not something you did with console at the time. Can turn the light on. Look at that interactivity. Eat your heart out, Duke. Yeah. I'm gonna be done with this one, I think. There's not much else to do here. Oh, there's elevators. Oh. Wow. Second floor. All right, we'll play a little longer now. I got the second floor now. Got loaded in. Mm-hmm. It's just a sample. There's so many different music. Whoa. Game of the year. Different music. Unfortunately, the color on the walls is identical. Sorry. Whoa. I forgot which button was which, and I punched the air. What's this weird, like, dance techno soundtrack? It's such a juxtaposition with all this stuff. Oh yeah, hostages. Oh yeah, everyone's dying. Am I stuck on a... I can't get around the desk here. If there's a jump button, I don't know what it is. Ugh. Alright, alright. Took a lot of damage there. Yeah, it's this weird, like, off... Yeah, it's a pass card. Well, you know it's an FPS from the 90s if it's got key cards. Of course it's got key cards. Why wouldn't it? Wow. Blue pass card. There it is. Found it. What did that add to the gameplay experience, I might add? Or ask. just the sampling and the sound effects are so odd. It's just very reminiscent of like this Amiga platformer almost. I know they were big on sampling, like by the time you could do samples, like, oh, let's do samples for everything. And you know, for some games it kind of works. Like I think of Blood Money too, like on the Amiga they used the samples for the intro and everything. Had nothing to do with the game, but they just did it because what was the purpose of this hallway here? I came in here for something? Nothing. I remember when the story flashed by in like 4 seconds in the beginning? You are in fact sensory overloaded because it is just blue. Very off-putting shade of blue. Boy, 3D games have come a long way, haven't they? Yep, there was nothing here for that. Yeah. Alright, I think that's enough for that game. We sure do want to abort the gaming process. Oh. Quit, please. Let's not play Sensor Overload again, but I mean, it's something different, because Marathon is a very specific kind of walk around that area and just shoot things, right? And I prefer the space setting than that. I thought that the office setting would be kind of cool to try out, but let's see if Bonkheads Deluxe runs, because I couldn't get a run earlier. It just crashed. Okay, it probably needed more memory, because now it runs. This looked neat. I don't remember anything about it besides that, so... We're hopping games a lot, but there's ooh, lens flare. There's a lot of games to explore for the platform, and it's hard to know which ones are good or not. You just got to try a whole bunch, right? Kind of. What we did is realized that the 32-bit addressing was off, like people suggested in the beginning, and that increased the memory availability. So, all right, Solder, there's up my. See you next time. Ooh, nice. Marathon 2 big box. That's pretty rare. Let's take a look. Easy, please. Player controls. I'd rather do A, D, and space. Boom. Oh, it's a fine one? Okay. Okay, I was gonna say. But yeah, I realized that I'm not very good at Mac stuff, of course. And I had, there's memory expansion in this one for sure. It's got 36 mega RAM or whatever. Like you see right under here, 38. And we hadn't set the extended memory addressing, so it was only had basically 4 available for the operating system. So now it has a whole bunch more. Might be right. Here in Surfaceable, you will find the first pest tried to infiltrate the lower underworlds. It's your job to clear out a bunch of pesky bulldogs. Remember, hit the animals from below, then go and kick them off the platform. It's like a... Oh. It's Super Mario. Literally. The play's really weird and like really fluid. It's literally Mario. We're kicking dogs? Yes. We have ended the evening by playing a dog kicking game. I guess we're kicking raccoons now? What is this? I mean, it's just literally Mario. What on earth? Very weird, like, floaty controls. I mean, it works, but... What on earth? Okay, then. High variety here. 10 out of 10. Yeah, I'm rocking this. It's got very much like a click and play feel to it. There's gems too. Oh my goodness, I'm making super fast now. Actually made it harder there for a bit. It's just got that, like, you know, sprite ass that's just kind of gliding around. Yeah, I should hit the TNT. A beast nest has fallen. Watch out for these nasty buggers. You can only bump them when they land. Jerks. Same music. Can I not make it up here? I cannot. What the... There we go. No, no, I touched him. That's a neat thing. The character kind of came back up. Meh. Oh, there's one left. Yep, the troll kicking day game. A troll kicking dog game. Shrew Manchu. Watch out for his flying spin move. It may take a few bumps to scare him off. Whoa. Is that Splinter? Boy, that's a game. That's a game. There's not much to it, though. That's pretty much it. What do we have preferences here? Music volume, player control. Oh, you got different environments and levels. Bonus levels. The Bonk Creator. Oh, you can create your own levels. Yeah, that's much more to that game. That's just Mario with trolls and kicking dogs. Alright, cool. There's one anyway as well that I saw that was pretty referenced in a lot of places. It'll be the last game of the evening, but that is Bolo. Let's see if it runs. Oh my goodness. Bolo, I believe, is kind of like a top-down, like, tank combat game. Oh, there we go. Quit, because you can play practice or you can play multiplayer. Welcome to Bolo. Instructions, first time player. So it's meant to be played in multiplayer, and it's top-down, like, tank game. And from what I understand, it's actually pretty popular, or was popular, and there's a modern version of it, too, that you can play on modern computers. Total control of a tank. Okay. Keep pressing Q until you move into the forest. Okay. Keep pressing Q. Hold the button. Press F to pay respects. Okay, we got it. Different speeds. Can I turn my... Okay. Press A to slow down. Never! Turn left, press O, and then P. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's basically a simple, like, return fire kind of game going on. Yeah, the pop-ups are pretty bad. The one game that comes to mind is Mega Man X5. My kids love that, and I'm a big fan of the game too, but the game gets interrupted by pop-ups constantly, and it just kills the flow completely. Automated pillbox will shoot at any tank that comes within range. Can I shoot? Nope. You see the appeal is like, it's pretty basic, and then for networks, this probably is a lot of fun. Eating Mac 84, Steve. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Had a fun evening exploring Macs, and the computer's still running, which is a nice thing, too. I was going to message you earlier when I booted this machine up for the stream tonight. The hard drive does not sound good. It needs a blue SCSI here, I think. It was making a kind of like industrial sound for a while there, and then it wouldn't boot. And then it's fine now, but I'm assuming it's on its last leg, so... we're trying to play Bolo now, which I've never played before. If you go straight and don't stray too close to the edges of the forest, the pillbox will not see you. Ooh, it can be hidden. Never played Bolo, but it sounds like it was a fun multiplayer game to play. Kind of makes me want to try it. Speed. Keep going. Just hold the throttle and hope for the best. Ah! Refueling base. Okay, I think we're just going to start a new game now. I don't need any tutorial now. We're just gonna roll with it. Choose map. Built-in. Free ammunition. Cool. Oh, nice. You just dump off here and... There's my shot. That's cool. You can actually work your way through here. Can I? Drive? No. There we go. Nice. X4 was on PC. And good morning, thank you. Wow, that pillbox has wrecked me. Bad time. Can I not drive over? I can. It's glugging. Come on. This is a fun game because it's got the simplicity here. And it seems like they wrote something here, right? Finding your way around. Yeah, PlayStation, where, you know, I played those games the first time, or PlayStation emulated, I should say. But then it was on PC as well. Well, this is the maze here for other players. I guess I'm not sure if there's other AI or if I'm just practicing. I'll make my own way through. Come on. Capture refueling base. Ooh, takes a long time to refuel. Yeah, it really is. And I see the appeal here, because it seemed like this is quite popular and also still being played actively, so... yeah, the DOS version of Mega Man is something entirely different. That was developed by one dude in, like, record time, right? So, go for it! Donk bonk. Oh. It's fine, it's fine. I don't see any enemies, so... Yeah, he did too, and that was a good watch. This has an interesting story. Whoops. I guess it's not a floating tank. Yeah, I mean, I played a lot of Mega Man X on PlayStation, and, you know, X series is one of our favorites in the whole family, so kids are playing the X Collection anymore now, which is the easiest way to play it, which is on like every platform. Where'd it go? There it is. Did I take this one? Don't shoot me. Yeah, the Mega Man games are hard. I prefer the X games over the original Mega Man games. The X games give you more options, and, you know, a lot of, like, jumping around and stuff that you didn't get with the, Oh, you cannot wreck those things, huh? Actually, Zero showed up in Mega Man. I mean, he was in every X series game, but he was first playable in 3. And then he was first playable in 3, and then, of course, becoming a permanent character in 4, so. Oh, stream's having problems. Let's back up. Okay, drop some frames there. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, Ted. Have a good one. I think we're probably going to go on and call here in a second, too, because it's a fun game. But I assume you kind of want, single-player no network. You pretty much need other players or something to make fun there. Was Zero? Zero shows up in the intro stage on X1, right? So, oh, the first time you saw it, yeah. But yeah, you can play with Apple Talk, and it's like a multiplayer. This is definitely a multiplayer game. I was thinking they would have bots or something, but nothing, of course, here. But I could see the appeal. Interesting with this machine now, this hard drive is full with these games. There might be some other stuff on here we can clear out too. Probably not a lot of, like, you know, business stuff taking a lot of space, but there was used for, like I mentioned earlier, like from a university, so that's probably a lot of school stuff on here. But it's a neat machine. Yeah, sorry you joined late there, Henke, but yeah, it's midnight here in the, almost midnight here in the Midwest in the US. We played every game in this folder, every single one, except Dark Castle. We couldn't get, that one doesn't work right now, but I just played all of them. And we managed to get through quite a few, and I would like to have more games available on this machine. It's a neat system. It's kind of like the 486 era, right? So a Blue Scuzzy will probably be in the future for this one, because the hard drive is already grinding and needs to stop being alive. But yeah, we played everything. We recycled through Marathon, Prince of Persia, Snood, Bonkhead Stories, and Monk Island 1 with the glorious music. Double Moral. Henke, I was going to say, since you're Swedish too, do you ever play Double Moral? I played that one a lot as a kid, and Ini Banana. And this is a fun one to revisit. Running around in Uppsala drinking and trying to not make your mom mad at you. And that was a very unique experience of a game. So we played that one. Played a lot of these. I could put a Tandy sticker on it. Is that good enough? Yeah. All right. Thanks for stopping by, Suka. It's pretty late where you are, so good night. So yeah, I think it's a neat machine, a neat era. System 7 is a fun one to explore. There's a lot of games that are neat and unique from here. Yeah, it's a little late to start playing it again now. I'm going to have to pack it in here, but I would encourage you looking up Double Moral. It's an interesting one, to say the least. Made by a couple of guys, I think a couple of students at Uppsala in 1990. And the objective of the game is to drink and get high score, basically. Anyway, yeah, it's a fun machine. I appreciate everyone hanging out and joining. I'm going to fall asleep here myself soon. And see more Mac stuff in the future, probably. I like mixing in a little bit of that, a little bit of this. So now it's going to be a ton of Mac content, but I figured since I just released the Mac video, I wanted to stream from one of these machines. I was going to stream from the 2CI. Unfortunately, that one decided to pack it in. I'm guessing the caps have gone on it and will not boot anymore. So this machine was the next one, and took a lot of work to get going, but here it is, working right now. Probably not much longer, but I'm going to do a full video and clean up on this one, probably. That will be a nice one, but the Mac Radeon 9800 Pro, I think, goes for even more than the 9800 Pro. And I never really am a big fan of flashing, since I use both PCs and Macs. I always find a use for it, so I don't want to flash like a Voodoo for Mac use, right? So, but anyway, fun stream, fun computer, fun games, glorious music, and the fact that Peter Wagner joined was amazing. That's awesome. I really appreciated that. So, Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'll see there may not be a stream next week because I'm going to VCF Midwest. I will see if we can a game time decision. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Have a good Mac, or sorry, Septandy, I guess now. Have a good Mac evening otherwise. Go play some Mac games. Good night.